goals in 21 games, sorry. So he's looking to hit that 20-point mark. He's sitting at 18 right now. So we'll have to see what happens. He likes to shoot those pucks shifty in the crease. That's where he stands strong.
Yeah, the native here out of Calgary, Alberta, was the 28th pick to the Prince Albert Raiders in the 2015 WHL draft. A very, very talented player. Ultimately spent 5 seasons with the Prince Albert Raiders and then ultimately made his way to the Cougars, where he's also been a very strong player. He is someone that is going to be a very, very tough player for these Dinos to deal with.
He really is. Him alongside his line mate Connor Bouchard, 2 of the strongest goal scorers on our team. There's a couple more behind them, but that top line for them, they're going to end up playing with Vaughn Waterroot tonight, which is a bit of a switch up. But Spencer Moe is definitely one of those veteran leaders on the team, so it'll be sad to see him go in his last and final Crouch out.
For the Calgary Dinos, it is going to be number 38, Adam Kidd, the player that we are going to have to take a look here at today. Again, this young man has just had a phenomenal season in his 3rd year. 37 total points so far, 7 goals, 30 assists, 2nd in points and 1st in assists in Canada West. Just been all around a really, really good player. Again, 3rd season, played 2 years for the Kelowna Rockets. Also, ultimately had a bunch of time here for the Calgary Hitmen, so knows this building quite well. Ultimately came back to the Calgary Dinos and has been electric for the last 3 seasons. Played a little bit injured last year, so didn't have a full amount of time, but he is a player that has just emerged as a superstar this season.
Yeah, he definitely is going to be one to look out for. From Regina, Saskatchewan, so he's kind of been all over the place, playing Prince Albert, Regina, Calgary, so this rink for him, he was phenomenal on the Calgary Hitmen, especially growing up in Calgary, getting to watch him a little bit, now getting to see him with the Dinos, but he's going to be a bit of a crutch for those Dinos defense going into tonight, especially with Shane Farkas in net. That's going to be a tough one to beat.
Yeah, these 2 netminders for both of these 2 teams, very, very good. Again, it's always a tough matchup between these 2 teams, especially when you deal with the talented netminders that both of these 2 squads had. But let's take a look here at the head-to-head for both of these 2 squads. Taking a look here at both of the games, pretty much even across the board. Goals per game, both teams sitting at around 4. Mount Royal almost at that 5 mark, against pretty much almost even. Calgary has that little bit better. And taking a look at the special teams unit, both of those teams sitting fairly even right there. But now taking a look here at the standings, Mount Royal currently sitting in 1st place with 2 extra games played so far this year, but they are tied with points with Calgary at 34 Naomi.
It has been an impeccable season. Calgary dominating the league all year, but Mount Royal starting at the bottom. So this is almost an underdog comeback era for them. But being tied with Calgary, especially Saskatchewan, another big rival for both of these teams, that's going to be some big crucial points tonight for both of them to see who can break free and really go through this weekend.
Yeah, taking a look at these 2 teams, they will ultimately face off against each other on Saturday at Flames Community Arena here in Calgary for the back-to-back, and that is going to be a really fun game. That kicks off at 5 p.m. Naomi, what are some of the expectations for this one?
That one, it is going to be a big barn burner. FCA is definitely, it's a smaller arena, and it's still Olympic-sized ice, but we don't get as many fans out for the guys to have there. We do have a bit of a limit for that, but coming into the MRU games at home, U of C hasn't been able to beat them in all of the games at Flames Community Arena, with MRU taking those Saturday night games. So it'll definitely be a heated rivalry, as it always is. So we'll have to just kind of wait and see who gets the end result.
These 2 teams all tied up at 2 on the season series. Tonight is going to be the one that gets them that little bit more, but we're going to take it away and send it up to our broadcast booth for our land acknowledgement and our nation's national anthem.
Our proud supporters of post-secondary hockey programs in Southern Alberta. Tonight, we're proud to present $50,000 donations to the Calgary Flames Foundation to the Dinos and Cougars hockey programs. Don't forget, proceeds of tonight's 50-50 draw are also directed to the Cougars and Dinos athletics programs. Thank you all for supporting this year's Pro Challenge Classic. Please join us in a moment of applause for Flames Foundation, the UFC, and MRU! At this time, we welcome a few very special guests to center ice for today's ceremonial face-off. President and CEO of Calgary Sports Entertainment Corporation, Robert Hayes. The Chancellor of Mount Royal University, Arlene Straw. and the President and Vice Chancellor of the University of Calgary, Dr. Ed McCauley. We now ask the captains of the Mount Royal Cougars, Kyle Walker, and the UFC Dinos captain, Adam Kidd, to center ice for today's ceremonial puck drop. Thank you, Robert, Arlene, and Ed. Fans, we ask you now to please stand and join along with Charlie King for the singing of the Canadian National Anthem.
Saddledome Rise, the birthplace of the Scotiabank Saddledome and our home for the 12th edition of the Crowchild Classic. My name is Truman Barman, alongside me for another great year. Grace Moore, Grace, great to be with you. And a packed house right in front of us. How good is this?
Yeah, it's a phenomenal atmosphere and right back at you. Such a privilege to always work with you, but in for a good one tonight. And as I said, the atmosphere is so loud you can probably hear it over us.
You can cut a pin with the tension in this building. Whether you're wearing red or blue, Mount Royal or UFC, Dinos or Cougars, we're all here for the same reason. Crowchild Classic. We are about to embark on yet another journey here in Canada West. Two of the best going at it in the West Division.
Yeah, definitely. It's going to be a big battle tonight. Everyone's trying to play in front of a home crowd, so they're going to give all they got. And to play in the Saddledome is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, so you'll probably see performances that you'll never get ever again, so be sure to tune in.
Opening draw is upon us, and we are off to the races. Connor Horning, the veteran Dino, will dump it in. Shane Farkas with the tap in his 4th Crowchild Classic. Grace, you mentioned some players only get one chance to play in this building. For both goaltenders, Carl Tedachuk and Shane Farkas, they're making multiple appearances.
Yeah, they're probably happy about that, but yeah, if you're stepping on this ice tonight, it's an opportunity, as some don't even get a chance. So when you get your chance out there, try to shine and get that next year if they can, if they're not in their 5th year.
Speaking of shining, that's all that Adam Kidd has done for the Dinos this year, and I'm sure we will see a lot of him in this matchup tonight. Leading the Dinos in points, and he has 14 power play assists on the season, not the most by any player in Can West.
Yeah, he's definitely a dangerous one out there.
Here's a quick shot, and Farkas is gonna squeeze tight. And the best chance of the game goes the Dinos' way early.
Yeah, to go back to your point about Kidd, wears that captain badge for a reason. He's a leader off and on the ice, but even a few weeks ago against the Thunderbirds, didn't go their way, but he's still giving it all he's got, making plays happen. And if you're Mount Royal, you need to watch out for him, as he's very dangerous in both his voice and his style of play.
And two great line mates as well. Of course, Hayden Pakula, speaking of Thunderbirds, a former Seattle Thunderbird in his own right. Here goes Mount Royal the other way. Tarswell a rip, and a save from Tedachuk. Josh Tarswell, call it a breakout year, and he's breaking out early here at the Saddledome.
Yeah, two quick opportunities going back and forth, and the audience is in for all of it.
Face off to Carl Tedachuk's right-hand side, the former Canada West Goalie of the Year, one-time All-Star. He'll have his hands full with this Cougar offense. Puck moved up ahead here to Corbet, who will dump it in. Back in his own zone is the newcomer for the Cougars, Ty Gibson. Spent some time in the ECHL. During his junior days, he was with the Everett Silvertips. Gibson picks up behind his own goal. Cougars look to generate a breakout here. Something about that Saddledome ice, so much smoother, but definitely smaller than what these teams are used to playing on. Not Olympic-size ice like their home barns.
Yeah, for sure. It looks, from this view, it looks beautiful and looks very smooth out there.
Puck jammed along the near boards. Fished free there by Tarswell, who loops it out to center. Back into his own end goes the veteran Sean Strange. Turns it over to Justin Lees. Puck up high now. Ladyman. His shot's blocked, and now it's out to center. Tristan Zandy will dump it in. Not the only Zandy to factor into this matchup. Hunter Zandy, former MRU Cougar, with 3 points at the big game. Zandy into his own end. Goes to the far side, and a turnover there. Maybe something for the Dinos to grab onto. Puck taken away through center by the Cougars, and Tedachuk will come out to play it. Martins goes a check down low, and a big hit. Thunderous as down to the ground. Aquilon gave a shove to Kidd. Tedachuk around the boards. It's up, not yet out, and now it'll be corralled at center by the Cougars. Tedachuk's had more work with the stick here early on than the pads. Speaking of Tedachuk in this game, 2-1 overall. He's been brilliant on the big stage.
Yeah, for sure. He definitely got chosen to start in net tonight for a reason, and Dinos have a lot of trust behind him. So let's see the performance he'll put out here on the Saddledome.
Poffenroth, the former Drumheller Dragon, runs in. Kidd lost the puck off a check, and now it's turned over out for Bouchard to try, and a glove stop by Tedachuk. Connor Bouchard, 2 assists in the Crowchild Classic. No goals yet for the former MVP. Here's a look the other way. Farkas a save. The rebound's just put wide. Oh, a glorious opportunity for the Dinos, and they had Farkas on his heels. Walker looks to calm things down. Up to Bouchard, and the bank pass goes to Hammett at center. Bouchard, that out of his reach, and he'll go off and grab a change. This new look line for Mount Royal, Vaughn Waterroot paired with Spencer Moe and Connor Bouchard. They've started to stick together over the last couple of games, with Teague Patton being out of the lineup. Patton back into the fold tonight for MRU on the third line. Gibson, long pass, is looking up ahead. It's turned over to Brendan Lee, the former Medicine Hat Tiger. Tarswell lost it behind himself. Gavin Schmidt will use the boards and send it in. Kirkpatrick overskated it. Now to center go Mount Royal. Both teams still looking for a bit of pace in this game, but the Dinos with the better efficiency.
Yeah, once again, to highlight Kidd, he just missed that one on the doorstep there, but once again, Cougars got to be aware of him. But yeah, it was quite a while till a whistle, so your voice must be a little...
You know, it's that time of year, too, where the flu's going around. You can't avoid sickness, and it has unfortunately gotten me up here in the booth, but both the Dinos and MRU, I guess, trying to challenge me within the realms of this booth while challenging each other out there. Hannes takes a bump. Moved up ahead to Lee, 1-on-3 the other way, and good shot block there by Ty Gibson. Not the flashiest is Gibson, but he's always willing to give himself up. Patton, that one sticked away at center. MRU will bring it to a screeching halt in their own zone. Zandy with a quick chip, and now he'll chase after Wyatt Wilson. Talked about Gibson spending time in the ECHL, Wyatt Wilson alike. Pass was behind up there. Going back for it is the former Spokane Chief Michael Ladyman, and that will go for icing. After a flurry of action, now we get a couple of quick stops. It allows teams and fans alike to get settled in. Still many coming through the doors.
Yeah, definitely. It's going to get packed, as was sold out about a week and a half ago, which is crazy, but definitely chances back and forth, but no team has quite settled it yet. They probably have all the nerves still trying to shake out.
Spencer Moen to take the draw, so Coach Burt Gilling going with his first line in the O-zone. Looks like we'll rerun things here. Just flashed the jackpot up onto the screen, and already at 13,000. Could be a lucky night, pay off some student loans for one of the students in the crowd.
Yeah, if I can recall, I believe there might even be a contest for student loan, at least when I watched in the past, but contests always change. But yeah, if you can win that money, definitely a big help.
Puck moved around the boards to Bouchard. Speaking of jackpots, MRU sure hit exactly that with him. Another great season for the perennial 30-point scorer. Bouchard tangled up in the corner. Puck's banked to the boards, and now it's over to Logan Auer. Ladyman. Quick setup over to Waterroot. He'll slowly work in, fire one up high, rebounds there, and it was put to the corner. Bouchard up top. Ackle on a collision out front, and Tedachuk hangs on through a screen.
Yeah, Mount Royal looks quite dangerous there, getting 3 or 4 opportunities. I also think the crowd was amused by the referee fall in there, as they seem to have a chuckle at that.
See the official fall here, and in the warm-up, unfortunately, a young kid who was skating on the ice with the flag took a bit of a tumble.
Yeah, you always see those, but of course they don't want you to catch it, but you got all eyes on it.
Here's Tarswell. Sharp angle shot is deflected aside, and then he takes a bump in the corner, and somebody's lost some paraphernalia down below. Massier plays it across to Strange and in. Hits always hit a little bit harder at this stage, especially when you got all the eyes staring down at you. Tarswell, and arms up here. It's going to be icing once again. So some tired MRU bodies will remain on the ice. And speaking of exhaustion, the Dinos, they're not exhausted at all. They're coming off a pretty important week, Grace.
Yeah, definitely. They got a bye week. Both men and women did, but on the subject of the men, yeah, they got bye week, unfortunately. They did have 2 losses the prior week, so to reset and freshen up, this is a perfect time for the Dinos.
That one just skimmed wide off the pad of Farkas in goal. Mentioned Tedachuk's good record. Farkas 1-1-1 in the Crow Child Classic over his years. Looking to get back over 500 tonight. Here's Kidd in his own end. We'll see if that exhaustion for MRU, who took a trip out to Regina last weekend, will play a role in this game. Here's Zandy, open room ahead. Here's the shot, and a shoulder saved by Tedachuk. Down into the corner, it's worked. Zandy's there to help out. Now it's taken up by Poole. Jake Poole, the former Canada West Rookie of the Year. 2 of those in this game. Connor Bouchard, the other for MRU. Walker, a long stare behind his own goal. He's been in his fair share of Crow Child Classics. This is 4th for the 50-year veteran. Strange works it out of his own end. A slow approach here for Brendan Lee, who goes up the left side. Puck down into the corner. Knifing it along the boards is Michael Ladyman, in a collision with the post out front as Lee went headfirst into it. This puck going to go up and out of play here. Looks like it was deflected. So that will mean a draw in Mount Royal's end of the ice.
You've seen it at Flames games, but now it's time for a very special
good face-off if Dinos take advantage in Mount Royal's zone to win that. But if you're Mount Royal, you want to get that one out and counter up the ice as quick as you can. But shot clock is pretty even. Dinos at 5, Mount Royal at 6, and I don't know, chances everywhere, but definitely still scattered.
And we're still looking for a first, of course. We're breaking tradition this year, Grace. Jake Precious from Colson Gengenbach. Those have been the two that have contributed to the last 2 first Pro Child Classic goals. Neither with the Dinos this year, so could it be another Jake? Maybe Jake Poole's turn to get in on the action?
You never know, it definitely could be. Dinos, they have a lot of key players out there that aren't afraid to take shots, and I'm assuming same goes for Mount Royal. Everyone's out there for a reason. They got the talent to score or assist, so hard to predict right now as both teams want to perform in front of this crowd. And to your point, how there's a major hit in the corner. At Father Dave Bauer, I don't see that, but of course you're going to see that here, right? They want to exaggerate everything and impress the crowd, but it's nice to see. So.
Well, there's a little bit of showmanship on each side.
Yeah.
The fans putting on a show during our break here, going shot for shot with certain locations being put up on the scoreboard. Of course, half MRU locations, the other half Dinos locations. Me and Grace did not get in on the fun, but we would be on different sides.
Yeah, unfortunately, Truman's a Cougar, and myself, I'm a Dino. Proud to be, though.
And not just a Dino, a
alumni.
Decorated soccer player.
Yeah, I have 5 years under my belt, so definitely an honor to wear that badge, and I know what these athletes go through, the grind of school practice and traveling, so it's hard work, but hard work pays off to get an opportunity in this game.
And I'm not going to let you be easy on yourself there, Grace. This is a former Canada West All-Star soccer player that I have the privilege of being alongside.
I appreciate that.
Puck moved to the middle for the Dinos, and it's checked away. So that Ozoden draw paying dividends here for the time being. Walker, jump ball down in the corner. Here's Aquilon over the stick of Strange, and great read by Waterroot. Here comes Vaughn Waterroot to the backhand, and he buries it. And the Cougars with a 1-0 lead.
Yeah, definitely. Tedachuk was not expecting that one. I think he was more expecting a pass in front of his crease, but Waterroot switched it up and placed that one nicely, and there you have it, 1-0 MRU.
Well, how do you do from Vaughn Waterroot? Backhand into the perfect spot. Mount Royal, they haven't gotten the lead often in the Pro Child Classic. Maybe a different tale being written this year.
Yeah, perhaps, but great opportunity there, but Dinos have to come back from this. They've been down before. They know how to bounce back, but good for MRU to get on the board first.
As we stand now, Vaughn Waterroot unassisted the tally on our first of the Weems.
Scored by number 28, Vaughn Waterroot.
Hammett shrugged the side down
That
low.
goal was
Moved up high to
unassisted.
Clay Honus.
Waterroot, unassisted. Time to
Injured in
goal,
the first period of
7:58.
last year's game. He did return for the back half, but wasn't himself in that Pro Child Classic. Weems with the shovel down in the corner, and he's at it with Hammett once again. Gibson, point bound. Far side over to Honus. Stevenson collects in the middle, and a shot fought off by Tedachuk. Honus watching in the corner, swatted at it. He wasn't able to knock it out of midair. Schmidt out into the center ice area. He plays it off the boards, and it's taken away, but Gavin Schmidt's got it right back.
Cougars' first goal, you can add an assist to the 25, Remy
That
Aquilin.
pass never reached him, and it's
28,
down to
Vaughn
Gibson.
Waterroot from the number 25, Remy Aquilin. Time to goal,
Honest.
7:58.
Over to Alex Isaac, the hybrid forward for MRU. He's played a little defense this year as he flutters that one in on Tedachuk.
Yeah, that one just about took a weird bounce.
UFC
Tedachuk had
and
to
MRU students,
cover that
listen
one
up.
up.
We have 1,000 limited edition Dustin Wolf player
as a
pins to
keeper.
give away at the
They brought this
Raiders
up
Next
last
Gen
year, but
Flame Celebration
Bessa
Game
Toskala
on
one time
February
netted a
7th.
goal from the other
We
blue
also have
line,
1,000
and that's at the
limited edition
NHL
Matt Coronado
level.
pins
So
to
you
give away
never
to the
know.
Next Gen Kids
Puck hits an interesting
KBA.
side, and it can
That's
end up
on Friday, March 29th.
Yeah, no,
Don't waste
exactly.
your
You
chance to
gotta
collect these
be
incredible
alert
collectibles.
24/7 in
Head to
this game, as you never know what
calgaryraiders.com
can
to get your
happen.
tickets now.
Zandy wins the draw. It's over to Lees on the boards. Justin Lees, Manitoba proud, and a former Flin Flon bomber. Spent some time in the WHL as well with the Saskatoon Blades, who roll through this building quite frequently, playing off against the Calgary Hitmen.
Yeah, I bet some players like to come back here. They've had a career here before, but to come back and play on some ice they're familiar with is probably always nice.
Zandy will line up in the dot once again. This time the Dinos victorious and winning the draw. Zandy, up top it goes. Aquilon takes it on the tape. One-timer to Lees, and it's off a stick and wide. Shane Farkas out to play it. He actually ended up missing it. Walker will pick it free. Collision down on the near boards. It was Zandy who was down on his face. Here's Aquilon. Shimmies his way up the boards. Handed it off to Walker, and some tense moments here for MRU behind the goal. Lees skates through center. Second game of the weekend, Justin Lees recording a hat trick after a slow start to 25-26. Howard, that off his stick and in. Now it's down low. Farkas was poking at it out front. Up to the point, it's Hammett. Dinos setting up shop, a quick pass over, and it never reached its intended target, and maybe room to run the other way for Milliken with a shot, a rebound chance, and Milliken put it wide. Ooh, and a high hit at the end of the play as Dawson Milliken was knocked over. And we got all sorts of chaos going on behind the net, and a penalty soon to come.
Yeah, that was quite a crazy hit. To be fair, that one definitely needed to get called down.
I believe it will be Wyatt Wilson heading off to the box for two. What a good look for Dawson Milliken. Certainly not his first rodeo in this game as well. A three-time participant in the Crow Child Classic.
Yeah, no, hopefully he's good. That was not a nice hit, but Wilson will go take two in the box and see if Mount Royal can generate something, take a 2-0 lead, as that would put Dinos in a tricky situation.
All those in dental care are the only people satisfied with that hit, because it's what keeps them in business. Up to the point, Tarswella, wrist shot wide. Mo.
Dinos penalty number 17, Wyatt Wilson. 2 minutes
Sent
for
down the
boarding.
ice towards Farkas.
2 for boarding. Time that penalty,
Honest.
10:53.
Calls for Farkas to leave, and he'll build up a little steam as he heads through center. Bouchard. Across the blue line, into the middle for Mo, and it's stripped away and thrown down the ice. Farkas will hold here for a moment and then leave there for Clay Honus. Honus didn't begin the year with MRU, but he decided to come back last minute, and boy, has it paid off. Fouquet. And another clear by Calgary. They're wanting to hang around in this game, Grace. A strong penalty kill is certainly a part of that.
And that's something you'll get from the Dinos. They're very good at killing penalties. They sometimes struggle on the power play, but got to give it to them on the penalty kill, especially tonight for the first one.
Down low goes Teague Patton. Second unit out there for MRU with the two defense look. Here's Aquilon as he sent that one wide right. Patton, slow work near the hash marks. Takes the return from Walker. Patton, lots of room, and a shot block there is moved down low. Weens, he'll survey now. Looking to give it back to Patton, and Cougars will work it along the boards. Here's Walker, teeing one up, and snatching it out of midair is Carl Tedachuk.
Very impressive save. No matter if it's U Sports or NHL, snatching that out of the air is always so impressive.
And that's what Carl Tedachuk does, going all the way back to his Lethbridge Hurricane days on some of those impressive teams with Dylan Cousins now in the NHL. And ever since him and Carl Stankowski have arrived here with the red and yellow, they have been an impressive tandem.
Yeah, definitely. They're both amazing goaltenders. It was probably super hard to select one tonight, but I'm sure they're super supportive of each other no matter what. That's what teammates do for one another.
Walker will take it off the one draw by MRU. Weens that one past Patton and down the ice. And it is important. In some levels, goalies can get competitive with who's the starter, but it seems like the Carls, they bounce off of each other well. Yeah,
and it is good to have some competition. It makes you a better player ultimately, so I'm sure there's that everywhere.
Here's Wilson. He's got a lead. He's got a shot, and it's deflected by Farkas. Good work to stay calm there from Shane Farkas as he was one-on-one with Wilson. Aquilon gives over to Walker. Through center, Mount Royal to Von Waterroot as Lees had set him up. Zandy. This line is at a bit of jump here. Probably the most impressive group for MRU. Lees off the top of Waterroot's skates, and maybe something brewing here for the Dinos. Poole walks in. Shot was deflected, and then it ended up in the corner. Dinos will grab it back. There's an arm up here. Off the bench comes Strange. Sean Strange over to Lee, the extra man out there, pulls and fires, and he sent it high up and out of play. And the Dinos will be headed to their first power play of the evening.
Yeah, did a good job to kill the last one. Now they get an opportunity, and 6:10 remaining in the first period. Why not make it 1-1? The crowd wants it, they definitely want it, but this is a perfect chance for them to execute that.
And it's so funny, the division in this building, not only in half being red and half being blue, but in the excitement. You can feel that UFC side at this moment in time has gone a little
we got
cold.
something brand new.
They were pretty loud to begin with, but yeah, we got to bring that excitement back up. And surely both teams want an overtime. Everyone wants that. It's just the atmosphere, but we'll see where it gets to as of right now. Mount Royal has the lead, but we'll have to see what happens.
One from a UFC to go on a 60-second first game right here, right now. Let's meet our contestants who are seeing each other for the first time up on the Sportsnet scoreboard. I am in the heart of Dino country. Say hi to Owen, who is studying finance at the University of Calgary.
It was a dogfight till the very end. And just so impressive, despite no goals being scored.
And I know you can be louder than that. Give it up for Ireland.
Yeah, for sure. And I think calling the game last year, we got the woman went to overtime, and that was a great experience. But yeah, I don't know, something about that overtime action, it just hits
Question number one: do you prefer a hot date over a dinner date? Yes or no?
Through three, as we sit right now.
All right, do you actively talk to any of your exes?
Go here in this first frame.
Okay. Would you date someone from a separate school?
There was a time in that period where Mount Royal seemed to have 5 or 6 minutes to them, and now they're 5 shots up on
Would you like to go on a
UFC,
second
so
date?
Dino's got to get back in this one and get this crowd happy again.
Okay, it's a match. Congratulations, you two crazy kids. You've got Flames gear, and we're sending you to a Flames game together.
Among these folks.
Yeah, no, they definitely have a good power play line here, but let's see if they can do something right off the bat.
Sean Strange, the jockey out there at the moment. Here's Pakawa. Back to the far side.
Cougars penalty number 20, Tristan Zandy.
Up high to Strange.
Zandy, 2 for hooking. Time of that penalty, 13:50.
One, him play catch. It's off to Kidd. Drop. Strange. Shot. Rebound. Saving it. Barely in. And we are tied at one. It's Jake Poole.
I believe you called it. You said that Jake was going to score, and you were right. And there we have it. 1-1. And the crowd is definitely back to what they were before.
Yeah, that temperature certainly turned up to our left. and Jake Gould continues the tradition. 3 straight years with Jake goals being first for the Dinos.
You know, when you said that fact, I had to think about it. I'm like, you gotta be kidding, but you're not wrong, and clearly it keeps going, so makes you look real intelligent.
Well,
as you already were, but really hypes you up.
I don't know about that, but when you look at Jake Gould's resume, there's certainly nothing intelligent about saying that he might score.
Fair enough.
Already talked about the accolades, but he's got all-star numbers season in and season out. Honest goes back into his own end in a brand new game here in the first period. Gracie talked about the importance of that power play, generating some momentum. It's done exactly that. Here's a shot from Tarswell trying to bring it back, and a save along the ice from Tedachuk.
Yeah, truthfully, Dinos took the golden opportunity. 5 minutes left. Not sure if anyone will generate anything, but if you're the Dinos, you're definitely happy. You tie this one up with Mount Royal having a little more going for them. So if you're a Dino, you really want to get back in this one, but keeping this at 1-1 and regrouping at intermission is what they need.
Honest, couple of shot blocks by Howard. There's a rebound for Weens, and he never got a hold of it. Lost the puck. Tedachuk is sprawled out in the splits. Never had to make a save as it was clear.
49, Jay
Tarswell.
The assist for Sean
His crew,
Strange.
and it allows Wyatt Wilson to regroup.
Time of the goal, 14-13.
Quick touch pass
from
up ahead.
Strange and Kidd.
He's got
Dinos goal,
one.
14-13.
Maybe more to come from the Dinos forward. This line, as we mentioned, got to keep an eye on them throughout the night. 4:44 to go here in the first. Zandy lost control of the puck. It's taken back just onside. There was Justin Lees. Zandy on his backhand, looking for the wraparound, and a stick save by Tedachuk. Ladyman, Komzak will play it wide, and Patton ran into Tedachuk trying to gather the rebound. Puck worked up ahead once more by the Dinos, and maybe some room for Lee. Shifty move by the Dinos forward, and now Patton's away. Patton. Puck's gonna fly beyond the bench here, up and out of play. Is Patton trying to find a little bit of space in front of him.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. As you mentioned, there's shifty moves out there. You wonder how many guys are gonna try to pull that off, as it looks quite nice in front of the crowd, but I've seen it from the Dinos before. Acting too fancy sometimes leads to turnovers, so gotta be careful of that, but most of the time it does work out and looks nice.
And Brendan Lee, certainly a high skill set. We see him often in a shootout scenario as a guy that the Dinos will put in their first 3. It's because he can do things like we just saw. Here's Spencer Moe. That shot sailed wide. Aquilon will hold the line. Both of those two likely graduating for MRU at the end of this year. So an end of an era for the two former Prince Albert Raiders. Dinos will bring it out. Taken away by Moe. Looking to kickstart Bouchard into the O-zone. Bouchard, a drop pass, and he's not on cue with his defenders. Poole gives it up to Martins. He'll drive the goal. Here's Bouchard, backhand, forehand, and he lost that. Martins out front, quick try, and it's off the top of Tedachuk's pad. Honest scrambling around the pressure from Fry. Here's a quick chip shot from Milliken. Honest down low. Gibson tees it up, and his shot is blocked up and out of play. Ty Gibson still looking for his first here in Calgary as a member of the Mount Royal Cougars.
Yeah, he's definitely getting close, but that was a good play for the Cougars, as they're just about popping one in the back of Dino's net, but Tedachuk is on his game ever since he let that first goal in. I don't think he was expecting that and should have covered that one a bit more. He's definitely on his game now, as he doesn't want any more mistakes.
Well, it certainly was a wake-up call for the Dinos keeper. Not that he ever needs one, but in this scenario, it worked in his favor. Dinos take it off a scuffle draw. Andrei Kovacevic lays that one past the Flames logo. Lees really got tangled up with his teammate Martins. Now Lees will send that high and in. Corbet overskated the puck. Kovacevic couldn't get it and allows MRU to regain possession. Corbet throws that into the near side corner. Ladyman will send it around. He's playing with Tanner Komzak tonight, and Komzak says he enjoys being out there with Ladyman and he feels like they excel well together.
Yeah, it's always nice to have good partnerships out there, as ultimately you'll perform better.
Weens. High shovel pass in. Is looking for Lees. Puck up ahead for the Dinos to try and take it away. Here's Weens again. Gibson. That off the stick of Blake Stevenson. Stevenson spending some time with the Hitmen, so this his former home bar. Tarswell gives to Weens. Sharp angle and a save along the post there by Tedachuk. Howard to the far side. Chipping and electing to chase is Max Stewart. Stewart does have his name on the board in terms of getting a point in the Crowchild Classic. Of course, we'll be looking for more this evening. Aquilon gives to Zandy, and he had to spin around just to keep it in. We're in the 1 minute mark of this first period of play, and it has been a good one. 2 goals already, each team getting a piece of the pie. Over by the penalty box area, it's Schmidt. Patton keeping a keen watch on that as it's taken back by Logan Hammett. Hammett, veteran defender, will give off, and now it's played up high to Adam Kidd. Kidd.
There's 1 minute remaining in the first
scramble
period.
away from the checking presence of Teague Patton. Officially under a minute here. MRU looking to bleed the clock, it seems. Not much urgency to jump up ahead and obviously risk turning the puck over. Bouchard. Quick give over to Moe on the far side. Bouchard's got it back. Waterroot in to help. Hannes. Over the stick of Spencer Moe. Oh, send it back in for Bouchard. Bouchard throwing a hit down low. Mighty but strong is Connor Bouchard as he knocks into the Dinos' defense. Waterroot. 16 ticks to go as he finds Spencer Moe down below. Moe, bank pass to Bouchard. Thought about gifting that over to Gibson. Instead, he fires a shot that's blocked. Gibson, one more try here, and that one will go skyward, and we will head off to our first intermission. One apiece here at the Scotiabank Saddledome. Farkas with a few good ones, Tedachuk the same. We've got more coming for you after the break.
So after 20 minutes of play, it is all tied up here at
shots on goal
one
first for the
apiece.
Dinos.
Naomi, what a first period. A lot of back and forth action. It definitely started looking like it was going to be a little bit more Mount Royal in that first period, but ultimately we have ourselves a tie game.
It was a great first period. Vaughn Waterroot coming out, getting that first goal for MRU, but just seconds later, we get a Jake Poole goal for UFC to tie that up. So it's definitely going to be an intense game. A lot better on the scorecard for MRU this season, as last year UFC came out on top with that shutout. So we'll have to see what the next couple of games gives to us.
Yeah, ultimately the Dinos getting that power play goal, their first of today's game. Both teams having one power play in that period, and ultimately just a really, really back and forth matchup. Now taking a look at some of our highlights throughout this particular period. Again, our first one coming in, it is a great save from Tedachuk. Again, both goalies allowing a goal in that period, but both goalies looking very stout as well.
They both looked amazing in between the pipes for both of them. Josh Tarswell being one of those top goal scorers for Tedachuk. He's faced probably thousands of shots off of Tarswell, so that was definitely an easier one as it was straight to the jersey logo, but it was a good save by him.
Yeah, as the Dinos with an opportunity, Jake Poole, we see him bringing that shot in and then just not able to sneak that open net. Again, just an opportunity, just missed, but as we joked here in our broadcast area, Jake Poole is kind of inevitable sooner or later, but yeah, again, just that first MRU goal right there, ultimately being able to sneak that one just over the shoulder of Tedachuk. What a goal.
It was a gorgeous goal by Vaughn Waterroot, just going to that backhand for him, and especially the save by Farkas just moments before in that highlight. This is only his 5th game back this season, coming from an injury, so him being in the Crowchild is definitely going to be a test for that. But what a great goal by Von Waterroot.
Yeah, just a smooth backhand shot just up over the glove of Tedachuk. Again, just a thing of beauty right there, but the Dinos continuing to move this one around. Jake Poole eventually gets it and just finds the back of the net. Again, getting those greasy rebounds, something Jake Poole does a very good job at.
It was an amazing cycle, first off, on that power play by the Dinos crew on the ice, but Jake Poole being in the right spot at the right time, Remy Aquilon not being able to get to him seconds before. Jake Poole just snuck that one past the left pad of Shane Farkas, who again also was not able to slide over. But Jake Poole, nobody can ever escape a Jake Poole goal in a game like this.
Yeah, it just seems like sooner or later he's bound to find the back of the net. And again, just a really big back and forth period between these two teams. Again, even on the series, we wouldn't have it any other way, being even after 20 minutes.
Exactly. You want to have a good game like this, whether they're up 1-0 or both teams kind of have a back and forth. It's definitely a good way to start the first period.
We'll be back for our player interview and our highlights coming out and going into the second period. You're watching Canada West TV, brought to you by BioSteel.
Beginning a program at university is an incredibly optimistic moment. Anything is possible. Everything is new and exciting. This is raw potential. Nothing has been decided, and no doors have been closed. This is the time to enjoy learning, to enjoy figuring it all out, to hear what others have to say, to think, discuss, and debate, to try things you've never tried, meet people you would have otherwise never met, to learn things you never knew, and become someone you didn't think possible. It's time to surprise yourself. Unrecognize yourself. Beyond the expected. Beyond average. Beyond your wildest dreams. Grow beyond.
Five, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Drink BioSteel, the right fuel.
So it's funny, I'm the first one out of my family to want to pursue aviation. I've always loved airplanes. You know, the NWT, the Yukon, there's so much history in flying up there, and it's something that really excites me. You know, growing up in Rankin is pretty unique. You know, small community on the west coast of Hudson Bay, population of about 3,000. Where I'm from, there's no roads in and out, so like I've been on a plane since, you know, I remember. You know, growing up, my buddy's dad had a float plane, like a bush plane. So I was fortunate enough to get out there and you know, spend some time on the weekends. I camp with them and, you know, do fishing and hunting and stuff like that. And you know, that's when I really told myself like one day I'm gonna get my license and you know, own my own airplane. You know, like going out on a Friday off grid with your own airplane, you know, just really gets me going. You know, I had a job in an office and I just felt like I wasn't enjoying myself, and it wasn't for me. And I'm one of those guys where, you know, if I'm not enjoying myself, then I'm gonna go find something that I enjoy. So I talked to my buddy, and you know, I was just asking him like, hey, I'm looking for a scholarship, anything that helps to get me through this, you know, first phase of flight training. And he said, well, we have a partnership with MRU through Canadian North. Do you want to be one of our sponsees? Called him back the next day, and I was like, yeah, let's do this. Can we go like next month? I knew it was going to be good for me. Like I said, I love the mountains, and you know, Calgary's just in a really cool spot. You got the Rockies to the west, you got the prairies to the east, and then you got Calgary right in the middle of it also. I think for any pilot, they all remember their very first flight. That's like for sure. Getting to the runway and, you know, just pure excitement, lots of nerves, a little bit of fear for sure. But, you know, the feeling of the wheels getting off the ground for the first time on your own, and there's about a split second of what am I doing, and like just terror. But I started to relax in the downwind a little bit. That's definitely a moment that I'll remember for the rest of my life. Put a lot of work into a flight, and when you get up there, you know, you got the plane settled down and cruise, and you're on your own. There's nobody around. There's, you know, it's not like driving a car where you have traffic all around you. You know, you can really take a look around, and you know, you got a bird's eye view of the Rocky Mountains, and that's when you can really appreciate it. Most exciting aspect of flight training is honestly, to me, probably the opportunities that aviation has to offer. It excites me knowing that, you know, there's a lot of unknowns out there where I'll end up, and you know, there's a lot of options. Getting your license opens a lot of doors even around the world. And one of my main career goals is obviously to go back north to NWT, Yukon, or even Nunavut to grow the Inuit pilot population, because there aren't many, and you know, it's a cool industry, and just being a role model for people back home, and you know, if they got questions, or helping them out, helping them get where they want to go. Honestly, like it's everyone's just so great, right? You know, everyone's so welcoming. When I first got here, you know, that's what I love about it here. You need to talk to somebody, or you know, you need help with something, everyone's just willing to help at MRU, and it's a great program.
Over 100 reasons to cheer for the Dinos, and they're all free for you Calgary students. Visit godinos.com/tickets and click on the Student All Access button. When asked for payment, enter your UCID under promo code to redeem access to all Dinos games free. Once complete, you can add your Student All Access pass to your phone's digital wallet for easy scan and entry into every Dinos event. No lines, no stress, just Dinos.
Computational biology is a little bit less shiny than other forms of research because you don't come out with this very pretty picture. Essentially, I'm looking at the protist parasite Giardia. Giardia is weird. It's got a lot of little quirks with how its biology works. Greatest hopes is that maybe we can actually figure something out and more conclusively come up with a theory as to how Giardia could be causing damage to hosts. Hi, I'm Emily Kingdon. I'm a recent graduate of Mount Royal University under the Biology Honours Program, and I've just started my Master's at the University of Alberta. So I chose biology largely because it was the most interesting to me in high school. There's so many opportunities to talk to people who know so much about so many different fields in biology, so you can walk into a room and learn something from somebody because everybody knows something different. Obviously, I have the background in cellular and molecular lab techniques, but going to Switzerland, I think there's going to be a lot of opportunities to learn so many new things. whatever I'm going to learn out there that they entitle molecular parasitology is just a complete field that I've never had the opportunity to explore. I think Mount Royal did really help with the transition from undergraduate to graduate studies, largely because I was part of the first cohort of the honors program in biology. It became a very small group of us. There were 7 of us. We really got to be quite good friends, and we spent so much time together in the lab outside of class time, and I don't think that ever would have been possible if I was in a classroom of 300 people.
We're bringing joy to the people with simple snow ducks, so I just grab snow, I create a duck, and there we have made joy. We have made joy.
We have made joy. Made joy.
Is that you?
Wait a minute, get it how you live it. 10 toes in when we standing on business. I'm a big stepper. Underground methods with top-notch hoes. Get the most, not the lizzo. Straight terror.
Welcome back, everybody, as we get set and ready for period number 2 here at the Scotiabank Saddledome. Brendan and Naomi back here with you. It is going to be a really, really fun remaining part of the game. But first, let's take a look here at our player interview with Vaughn Waterloo.
Period for your team. Ice tilted mostly your way. Just what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it was a good period. Both teams were fast, and there's a lot of contact, so it was fun.
Yeah, opening up the scoring, obviously in front of a crowd like that. Just take us through that goal there.
Yeah, it was a nice play by Remy getting the puck out, and I was just able to pick it up with speed and put it in the net. It was nice.
Yeah, you guys are tied in the standings right now. Just talk about how important these 2 points are to get tonight.
Yeah, obviously every game coming down the stretch here is important, and we just got to play our best.
Yeah, tie game going into the second period. Just talk about what you guys need to do to get back on the board here.
Yeah, just continue to use our speed and forecheck well.
Good luck in the second.
Thank you.
Vaughn ultimately opening up the game, scoring earlier in the first period. Ultimately, we did have Jake Poole tying things up on the power play goal. But Naomi, what are some of your expectations coming here for the second period?
In the second period, we're looking for a lot of bigger goals. Connor Bouchard is trying to beat a record through franchise of MRU with points. He has to get 2 of them tonight to try to beat that. Jake Poole looking for more. Adam Kidd looking to add to his insane score sheet tonight. But we'll have to see who can rattle the cages of the goaltenders on either end.
Yeah, Adam Kidd ended up getting his 31st assist on the year, and that's one of those things that we kind of just talked about in that period. It's just a magical season thus far for him, and it's just ultimately been just such a great player so far. And goaltending is also going to be a factor here in this period. Both goaltenders tested so far in the early stages, both allowing 1 goal in, but both have made a handful of really nice saves as well.
Both have made a handful of really nice saves, but for Jake Poole and Adam Kidd getting those points, Adam Kidd being a forward, it's funny, Clay Honus on MRU a year ago had the same amount of assists. So it's funny to see and compare the two of them together for both of these crews, as they've had some great veteran players, some great new rookie additions this year. So it'll be an exciting second period.
Yeah, it's one of the things that we also talked about. Last year, Dinos dealt with a handful of injuries around this time. I know Mount Royal is dealing with a little bit of the same situation at this point, so kind of a little bit of a polar opposite of what we saw from last season, and it is just been a really, really good competition between these two squads. 20 minutes in the books, 40 more still to go. Let's send it up to our broadcast booth to kick things off for period number 2.
Got a fresh sheet of ice and a new period here at the Scotiabank Saddledome, as both these teams, Cougars and Dinos alike, have drawn even at 1. Makes for an interesting second period, Grace, and we're here for it.
Yeah, it definitely does. I was looking for Dinos to tie it up, not only for themselves, but for the crowd. Everyone wants a close game, and there you have it. Definitely the Cougars had a fair bit of more chances. I'd say Dinos are lucky to have this one tied, and they definitely have to come out a different group this period. But yeah, 1-1 game here, and definitely lots of action to come this second period.
Some action already as Vaughn Waterroot had his twig broken off the draw, had to go get a new one from the bench. Already some antics brewing as we have our second period face-off dropped, and we are off again. Kyle Walker, the Cougars captain, will take it in his own end and find Waterroot up high, and play is blown dead for offside. A neutral zone draw on the horizon here.
Yeah, quick whistle there, only 9 seconds in. You never know if you're gonna get a quick one or if you'll get one in like 5 minutes. It's very unpredictable.
The draw being moved all the way back down to Mount Royal's end. Said Waterroot put himself offside. Guess that makes sense. Nobody was ahead of him. Face-off won by the Dinos. Sent up high to Strange, and his shot blocked by Bouchard. No points in the first period for Bouchard, but plenty of hits thrown around. Waterroot in a track meet here as he goes down the sheet, and will go for icing as Horning had the step.
It'll definitely be interesting to see which team makes the best opportunity to start off this period, as in the first it went towards Mount Royal, but let's see if Dinos can turn it towards their end, as they do have a face-off in their opponent's zone.
We've seen that pay off momentum-wise for the Dinos early on. So they're going to add to that repertoire once again. Face-off won by Mount Royal here is off the stick of Waterroot. Vaughn Waterroot, the opening goal in this game. Remy Aquilon, the added assist to that goal. Mo, Waterroot's first in the Crow Child Classic. He didn't have a point in this game coming into this evening. Now the Dinos are out through center. Offside, Schmidt. It looked like on the other side it was Wyatt Wilson who was a skate blade too far. Wilson getting into some chippiness after the whistle, and it has been a muck-it-up sort of game, but there have been some hard hits thrown and certainly some shadow.
Yeah, for sure, and I think you're gonna get that, especially in the men's game. But yeah, they got to watch for that pushing in front of the referees. You don't want to take a silly penalty that will result. Could be very well be a goal. So got to be careful of that pushing and shoving.
MRU, another draw one here early in the second. Gibson, that off the top of Tarswell's twig and into Dino territory. Tarswell over skated the puck. Here's Kirkpatrick. Sean Kirkpatrick chips it around the boards. Tarswell skated past that, but couldn't hang on. Lee was looking cross ice for Wilson and moved to center by Blake Stevenson. Here's Weens, maybe a 2-on-1 the other way, and Weens' pass for Tarswell wasn't on cue. Here's Honest, lots of time, and the net falls on Carl Tedachuk behind the play. Let's see what comes out of this. Tarswell was crashing behind the net. Hope for Tedachuk's sake that he's okay.
Yeah, he is slow to get up there. Hopefully it didn't hit the back of his net. I was looking the other way. I didn't even see that net fall over, but I think it definitely hit his neck or his head, and nets aren't light out there, so hopefully he's okay.
And it's something you really never see is the net falling in. I'm not sure how Tarswell got into that position either.
Yeah, I'm not sure if anything will be blown on that or if it was a little pushing and shoving behind and the net just came off of its place. Doesn't look like the refs are calling anything, as the Dinos are definitely fighting for something.
Well, this is a high-end surface out there. These nets don't get removed easily. It was off in High River last weekend. The net came off, I want to say 8 times during the game. That ice surface, much softer than what we have here at the Saddledome.
Yeah, I guess I do have to consider that. This is the best of the best you can get, but I don't know. It didn't look intentional by any means.
Certainly not. And Tarswell, not known as a dirty player in any sense. He's not even someone that mixes it up often.
Yeah, if he was a dirty player, I'd have a different opinion there, but no, I gotta stay on his side and fair play, get on with the game as long as Tedachuk's all right and is able to return, and it looks like he is.
It's important for the Dinos and important for Tedachuk. Oh, there's a replay of it now. Yeah, clipped right on the back of the helmet as a high shot off the draw here. MRU right back to it. Tedachuk is gonna have a lot of time to get readjusted. Puck moved up on the right wing side. It's chipped in by Caden Bugera, defenseman for this Dinos group. Schmidt with a hit down low. Here's Strange, crossed up by that puck as it took a hop on his skate. Gibson a shot from distances, fended aside. Strange, Bugera couldn't hold it. Puck jumping on several MRU players, including the likes of Justin Lees. Hannes up looking for Zandy. Lee's there in support, but dogged pressure from Matt Corbet, and it's moved up to the blue line. Strange down low for Gavin Schmidt. Surveying out front is Corbet. A quick one-timer, a blocker stop made by Farkas, and that not an easy one.
No, that was great one-timer by Hauer there, and you know that's what he brings into his game. He's always a standout for his one-time shots, so not surprised that he's pulling that out of his toolbox today.
Matt Corbet from a hockey family, a couple of those family members playing in this building. Rene Corbet, his father, a former NHLer, and his brother, Nate Corbet, still chugging along in the WHL. Spent time with the Medicine Tigers, now Kelowna Rockets. Face off over towards Kyle Walker. He spent his junior days in the WHL as well with the Regina Pats. Aquilon down low with Spencer Moe. Walker over in the bunch as well, and he's able to pick it free. Bouchard up ahead, and Waterroot will pick up speed through center. Gives it over to Aquilon. Cutting the middle was Aquilon. Here's Bouchard. Bouchard, Michigan attempt, and Tedachuk with the stop. Oh, I'm not sure anybody had that on their bingo card tonight.
No, I don't even know if I've seen that live in the NHL. That was sure impressive.
Here's Pakula, floats one into the blue paint, and a collision behind the goal. It was Kidd who was sent into the boards. Here's Waterroot, one-on-one the other way. He threw that one into the corner. Bouchard, one hand on his stick. You never know what Bouchard's going to do on a nightly basis, and pulling another rabbit out of the hat here is number 12. Martins crashed into behind his own goal. It's Kovacevic who's down there wrecking it. And now it's up over to Waterroot. Quick chip into the middle. Lee, or rather Fry, will guard Tedachuk. It'll be a stoppage in play with 6:15 to go, and already plenty of highlights across this second period.
Yeah, for sure. We expected it to be high pace and that intensity from the first period. If anything, I think it grew. Mount Royal came out of the gates, and Dinos matched that speed this time as they were a little slow in the first period. But yeah, definitely a more even period for sure.
Lees look to take it off the draw. You never like to live in the land of what ifs, but if that goal went in, I'm not sure we would have a roof above our heads.
Yeah, it's going back to my soccer days, it's like doing a bicycle kick. It's unreal, and definitely one of those highlights that will last forever.
Hopefully we can get something that's maybe even 50% of that. Here's Tedachuk. Hounding out front there was Alex Isaac. You talk about people that aren't afraid to get into a scrum. That is Alex Isaac for you. Dawson Milliken's there as well. Throwing a couple rights is Kovacevic. And now Isaac without a bucket on his head.
Yeah, we knew we were gonna see that. Not only because the atmosphere, the fans all want it, they're cheering it on, but just the rivalry between the Cougars and the Dinos. You're gonna get that shoving and people wanting to drop their gloves probably every chance they can get, but definitely coaches probably had a talk and is like, we don't want that.
And Grace, I'm not sure if the MRU and Calgary rivalry goes outside of, let's say, the playing field for this example, but I know as far as the hockey teams go, if they're in an establishment anywhere, there is no communication between the two groups.
No, there's always that level of awkwardness coming from my soccer career. I mean, I'm not one to go out, if I'm being quite honest, but when I do, it's always awkward just because it's Mount Royal and Calgary. We're never going to get along. It's like Edmonton Oilers and Calgary Flames. We're not going to like each other, so.
Corbet takes it off the face-off. Rather, that's Hammett who will sidestep. Gives it to Strange. Strange, a high shot now. Blocker saved by Farkas. Horning jamming it to the front of the goal, and Strange fanned on it. Maybe a 2-on-1 the other way. Hannes with Weens. Hannes walking in. Blocker save. Rebounds out. And the Dinos will bring things to a calming presence here in their own zone after a flurry up ice by MRU. Clay Hannes, every once in a while, he'll see a spot and he'll pounce on it. Looked to do so there and almost converted.
Yeah, that was definitely good chance for the Cougars. They've had a few of those in the second period.
Pakala shifting his way and got crossed up with the puck, gives it away to Mo. Bouchard had that run behind him. Now it's Mo who ushers it to the corner and he takes a heavy hit. Bouchard watching carefully. Aquilon picks it up and he rims it around the boards. Walker out in neutral ice. Had his eye on Aquilon and he'll serve it there now. Here's Aquilon, left-hand side, working in, and he put it wide. Remy Aquilon with his best look of the night.
Kokovic, time those penalty out, 2 minutes for roughing.
Walker leaving it there in a dangerous spot. Stevenson cleans up the scraps and now he's away. Stevenson with Bouchard, dangling to his backhand, and Tedachuk nearly got a cover on it, but it ends up behind his crease. Here's a shot from Hannes, and it's in! The Cougars regain the lead! It's Clay Hannes from deep.
Great one-timer from Hannes there, definitely caught Tedachuk off guard, but good for the Cougars to move that puck around and look for the right opportunity and definitely get it there, and now they're up 2-1.
Clay Hannes, a scoring threat from anywhere, this time from the top of the circle, and he stuns Tedachuk and about half of this crowd.
Yeah, definitely. One-timers are always impressive as it's so hard to strike the puck at the right time, but that one had so much power on it. Tedachuk probably didn't have much vision on that puck.
Well, the only way to put it is the Dinos at this current juncture have 21 problems. They also trail 2-1. Stevenson got caught up in the Dinos' end, allows for Horning to readjust. Far side now taking it is Logan Hauer. Hauer, the former Sherwood Park Crusader in the AJHL. Of course, lots of shifting happening in that league. Running in and out. Wilson to Hammond.
Scored by number 21.
He's looking for
Clay
Fry.
The assist for 18.
He's the one who gets it instead. One off the top of the
Stevenson.
bench and out.
Cougars goal 554.
Yeah, hopefully everyone on the bench was alert there as that one took a awkward bounce and thankfully didn't hit anyone in the head there.
All right, fans, it's time for our last head-to-head match of the evening.
Defenseman coach Brett Bartman, he's a former player in this game, former captain of the Calgary Dinos.
Calgary Flames players.
So we are going to watch his education on the bench, and that's always hard. You can only have so many voices on the bench, and so many coaches. But anytime you don't have one person that speaks to one group,
look, I haven't really been paying attention to the scoreboard, Billy.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely having that one voice that maybe it's motivational, or when you hear it, you're like, oh, work harder. It just always makes a difference. It's probably like if Dinos were to have kid's voice out there, probably wouldn't be the same. Or same for Mount Royal. If you don't have your captain out there, it's just not the same. And if someone else is to wear the badge, it's just not literally the same. So, yeah, I get where you're coming from with that. Having that main voice is always hard to overcome.
We have some face throwing around the lower bowl. Nazem Kadri and Michael Backlund. Not sure how long Kadri's going to be a Flame for. There's been rumors rumbling throughout the NHL sphere about where his new location could be.
You know, I'm okay with that. I think he needs to go. He has the talent, and Flames doesn't have it all for him. I'm okay to see him leave if that's the best move for him, but we all know Backlund's here to stay. So
yeah, he isn't going anywhere. And these two as well, here to stay. The Crow Child class expanding back all the way to the early 2010s. It's a tradition that has not only continued, but has flourished.
And I can't even imagine once the new arena's built. This event probably, I don't even know if it could tell how big that arena's gonna be. So be exciting to broadcast from there.
I was gonna say, I hope we're around for that race.
For
they should give us the call.
Yeah, we're all put in our ticket now.
Here's a pass over to Kyle Walker. He was looking for Justin Lees. Unfortunately, I don't believe any players that are in this game will have an opportunity to play in the game when it's across the street. Here's Fry, taking his time along the right-hand side, then he takes a mean shove from Kyle Walker. Here's Aquilon. He's looking to headline Patton. He's sent packing. Here's Walker again. Zandy started up in his own zone, looking to the right side, and it's past Patton. That means we'll get an icing call here with 12:35 to go. And taking a look at our shots, Mount Royal, the heavy favorites and the heavy leaders, 22-13 aside.
Yeah, I will say they're starting to take this one a little bit more in their hands. So Dinos gotta bounce back. They surely did last period. I think they were trailing by 6 or so shots and were able to put one in. And that's all that matters. Shot clock may show a big difference, but if Dinos can tie this up and it's 25-14 shots, let's say, then got a tie game.
Yeah, it's not about how many you throw on net, it's about how many go in. And
yep.
Obviously Mount Royal, that's working in their favor at this moment. Kirkpatrick couldn't get away from a check. He leaves it for Patton. Here goes Tarswell. Tarswell. Backhand as MRU grabs a change, and Weens got hit on the back of the neck. Stevenson. Kirkpatrick out of the pile. Up ahead to Bugera, and he gets slammed into the boards. Head first goes Caden Bugera. Strange. Bugera tosses one back towards Komzak, but not half the force that Komzak threw his way initially. Stevenson climbing up the ice, was looking for Weens, and Dinos a chance to work things through neutral ice again. Kidd after Komzak. Tanner Komzak, his first year with the Cougars, spent the last couple with the UND Fighting Hawks, as they're known now, formerly the Fighting Sioux of the NCAA, a premier program. You talk about buildings that got lots of noise. The Ralph down in North Dakota is certainly that. And this atmosphere here tonight, I can only assume mimicking what you would see in an NCAA barn.
Yeah, I can't even imagine, but yeah, going to today's atmosphere, it's only going to keep rising. Everyone's definitely going to stay to the dying moment of this game, as we know it's going to be a close one. And you know that the Dinos definitely want to get back into this and make the crowd happy again. Well, the Dino side, of course. Cougars are happy by all means.
It's just like bread. As the heat rises, so does the dough. The dough in this case, of course, our fellow fans. Kidd takes a shot in the corner. Rather, that was Poole. It's Kidd who's got it down low. Jake Poole, 1 goal in this game as he gives off to Adam Kidd. Hammond, kick pass over to Wilson. Let's see if it turns into anything. And it's out of play off the stick of Wyatt Wilson.
Dinos did create a few chances, though, in the first period by playing it across the crease. They didn't take a shot, but they looked for that pass, but they couldn't get anyone on the end of it. If you're a Dino, why not keep testing that? It worked a few times against the Cougars. No, it didn't go in because we didn't have a man there, but if you know you're catching them off guard, maybe start doing that, as nothing seems to be going for the Dinos right this moment.
And I got to ask about the kick pass from Logan Hammond. Is that something you would have used, Grace?
Probably, definitely would use my feet, but I was even walking down below. All the players are juggling. They got soccer in their pocket too. I know all of them have a love for it and would probably love to play it too.
Well, when you're an athlete, you're an athlete.
Yeah.
I'm sure if we put you out there on skates, Grace, you'd be just as good as a few of these players.
I actually can't stop, so I don't want to embarrass myself, but I can shoot a puck, but yeah, I can't skate, so.
Well, for your sake, we'll stop going any further with the conversation. Here's Bouchard. Past Jackson Martins, and a shot on goal that Tedachuk's able to stop. Mount Royal making a change, and there's always a little bit of anxiety near the bench area when you're making a change. It was a chance for too many men. Tedachuk, top side for Sean Strange. Isaac up in his grill. Well, it's played to safety for the Dinos. You see, they've been trying that far stretch pass to the red line tonight. It just hasn't been clicking on all cylinders.
Yeah, they tend to do that quite often, I find, but a lot of times it just ends up in an icing, unfortunately. So maybe looking for a shorter pass is the better move. But I have witnessed it worked a few times, so maybe they're keeping that in the back of their mind.
Well, and their record certainly speaks to that. There's a reason they're tied for first place. And the winner of this game will have sole possession of first place, obviously, until Sask plays tomorrow. If they win, they would be tied as well.
Yeah, this game's super important, and if you're the Dinos, you don't want to lose 3 in a row. You want to get off that losing streak, but if you're the Cougars, coming off some big wins.
Komzak took that out of the way. Thankfully, he did so for the Cougars' sake. The Dinos will re-roll here. Bugera lost the puck. Howard's able to help him put it back into Mount Royal ice. Now Komzak will look for things to shake out up high. Tanner Komzak onto the tape of Patton, who coughed it up. And the other way goes Max Stewart. Stewart pressuring Lady Man there. It's going to be held in by Strange at the line. Stewart down behind the goal line. Goes back up to the blue line. Lee onto the toe of his stick as he got away from Komzak, and not knowing where the puck was, Farkas with the save. Patton. Komzak fanned on the pass. He had Zandy off to the races, and now Zandy will embark on a journey into the Dinos' end. Zandy fishes that out of the skates. Walker up high, Aquilon on his side. Walker the shot, and it skims wide. Zandy kicks it to his forehand, then takes a shove, and Max Stewart crossed the blue line. Walker, watching him is Gavin Schmidt. High pass to the other side for Stevenson. Stevenson, a little bit of room to work, and a backhand shot is tossed aside. Walker from the point was looking for Tarswell, and he couldn't complete it, but he once again holds. Tarswell looking for Weens. Now Weens has a quick step in the corner. Aquilon takes the handoff. Stevenson shimmies and shakes his way towards the hash marks, and then Weens was caught leaning in, maybe a chance for the Dinos. Walking in is Schmidt to his forehand, and he blasted it wide, and then a mean hit at the end of the play. Stevenson taking the brunt of it. Tedachuk will leave it, a soft pass to one of his defenders. Here's Fry. Stevenson's got to be feeling it a little after that play. An open ice hit, never a great feeling. Here's Hammett pulling and dragging, and he sends that one up into the netting.
We're not talking about hits. A few of the guys out there have taken some nasty ones, but of course they're still playing. But as we've mentioned, you wouldn't see that in a typical game. I think it has to do with the atmosphere, right? Like, at least from broadcasting from Father David Bauer, yeah, you'll see a hit or two, but definitely I've seen triple that tonight, and it has to all do with literally being the Crowchild Classic.
And some players thrive better in this atmosphere. Jake Grecius, the all-time leading scorer in the Crowchild Classic with 6, standing alone for now. And Carl Tedachuk on the other end, despite giving up 2 goals, he's saved 22 shots.
Yeah, no, he's had a very good night, and to be fair, the first one, I think definitely if he could take that one back, he usually has those angles covered, but can't take it back. And he has made, as you've mentioned, 22 saves, so still is playing a very good game.
We will take ourselves a timeout here with 6:58 to go, so once past 7,
you guys, I feel like I know who's coming out on top, but let's take a look at the final score.
1,003 to 1. I'm not sure where they're getting that specific number from.
Yeah,
but that is whichever graphic designer in the building chose lots of them decided to go with here tonight. And Mount Royal and UFC alike, they've decided to go with similar lineups throughout the year, and they've allowed some of these players to marinate and build up chemistry with each other. And I think it's paying off.
Yeah, I think building chemistry is crucial. I think rotating the lines constantly, you don't build those connections. Yeah, your teammates often on the ice, but really building those relationships during each play and experiencing challenges and successes is crucial with 3 or 4 guys that you're used to being with. Of course, I think players should get the opportunity to move up lines if they're performing, but definitely keeping that chemistry, especially this time in the season, don't change it.
Well, and that's a credit to the coaches as well. Both Mark Howell and Bert Gilling starting to become legendary across U Sports, and Mark Howell especially, he's been doing this for a long time. And that's trusting their guys, and anytime you can have trust with your players like that, you're bound to succeed.
Yeah, even if I look back, as Dinos did have a bye week, I don't even know if the coach ended up changing the lineups. He just has that trust in them, and he knows they'll bounce back. And yeah, having that trust is, as you mentioned, it's crucial, and it's nice to see that coaches think like that.
Draw coming from center ice, and it's one here by the Dinos. Here's Sean Strange. Puck is fielded down low, played up by Poole, and now here goes UFC. Pakala left it on the side for Kidd. Wide open out front was Poole out of nowhere. He snuck behind all the defenders for MRU and nearly had a chance. Poole leaves for Pakala. Kidd's now the one open out front. Horning, dependable as they get on the back end. He's a guy that any team would like to have, especially with those about to embark on a playoff run. As shot blocked there, leave it hitting Mo out front, and you can see him squeezing his leg. It's not a guy MRU can afford to lose here. Strange leaves for Pakala. Tip play out front, rebounds there, Farkas the save. Oh, jumping was Shane Farkas. And still in agony in front of him is Spencer Moe, who can't get off the ice. Horning to the middle. Sharp shot is saved as it's Farkas with the glove again. Spencer Moe down on the ice here. You got a kerfuffle over to the left of Shane Farkas. Spencer Moe, what a year he's had. It's his final season, 5th year, and all he wants is a chance to capture not only a Canada West title, but a U Sports national title. For sure, yeah, he's definitely a crucial player for the Cougars, and as you mentioned, you can't lose him, but he's a little shook up right now, but I bet you in a shift or two, he'll be all right, hopefully. I think he blocked a puck, which is always painful. Spencer Moe, 1 assist in his previous Crowchild Classic affairs. He gets an assist from the trainer coming off the ice. We pray he comes back for the 3rd period. It's a huge part of that first line that talked so highly of Von Waterroot and, of course, Connor Bouchard. It'll be a different look for the considerable future here for MRU. Gibson to Stevenson. Send this one towards Josh Tarswell. Tarswell picked it up behind the goal. A turnover out front. And nearly back to it was Justin Lees. Farkas went pinballing off his stick below the goal line. Stevenson, strange will hold, and now Farkas will do the same. He traps this one on the ice. Yeah, that was an awkward bounce behind the net. He definitely tried to hit it to the side, but thankfully it went straight back to his stick, or that could have been a hefty mistake for the Cougars. 100110005. Royals end, and this is still early in the game, but you feel like this is the time where the Dinos can start to build, adding another level to their game each time, and we've seen them do that off of ozone draws already. Yeah, to go back to the first period, they scored with about 5-ish minutes remaining. That being said, they were on a power play, but they've had plenty of chances being even apiece, so let's see if they can generate something. Lee's looking for Zandy. Good stick in the lane. Komzak from distance, deflected, and a pad save by Tedachuk. That one had eyes for the back of the goal. Here's Ladyman. Gives to Patton. Lees is in the middle. It was behind him, but it's not cleared. Patton. Be interesting to see if he goes back on that line with Bouchard and Waterroot, with Moe out of the game temporarily. Komzak to the Dinos' end. Lee was floating around, and now he's got the puck. He'll send it towards Farkas. Farkas leaves, and out come the Cougars. Walker on his off wing, and he takes a hit as he dumps it in. Down low goes Milliken. Isaac in support. Milliken. Watch there. Cycle pass down low his way. Dawson Milliken banked up top. Aquilon takes the extra second. Now things open up, and he couldn't feather a pass across. Puck held by Isaac. Isaac up over his shoulder. It's down low to Aquilon. Remy Aquilon, one of his best offensive seasons. There's a lot of good offensive defensemen on MRU. He's found a way to stand out. Isaac. Dinos will look to convert on a breakout here. Corbet across, and nearly getting crossed up there by Waterroot. Like that was Lee. Honest. For a long stretch pass. It's off the toe of Waterroot. Tedachuk will have to come out and play it. Bouchard over to Jackson Martins. Pakala off the boards. Gibson fighting his way on the line, and nothing comes out of it. Under 3 minutes to go here in this second period. Mount Royal still with a 1-goal lead. U of C on a bit of a winning streak here at the Crowchild Classic. Those in blue and white hoping to snap that streak. Horning takes his leisurely time, and that pass just a hair too far. Kid couldn't get to it, and we will get a draw in Carl Tedachuk's end of the ice. Yeah, if you're Dinos, you really want to get it out as soon as you can and hopefully
try to pop a goal in before this second period ends, just to go in with some better momentum into the third period. I'm sure they'll regroup and strategize, but definitely to tie this one up would be the most ideal situation.
And I'm not sure if you saw that at home, but that was a Baker Mayfield worthy beer chug. And we're not endorsing alcohol here on the broadcast, but there is a lot of that on a night like this one.
Yeah, I even saw them stacking cups challenge. Mount Royal versus Dinos, who has the most cups. I mean, go for it if they're doing all types of challenges, but us, we're just having fun commentating a game.
It's the game within the game within the game within the stands.
Yeah.
The beer snake, made famous by the Chicago Cubs, it's made its way here to Alberta, it seems. Jaden Weens, Josh Tarswell. Those two are part of this group to take the draw. Blake Stevenson out there. Stevenson playing a lot of center throughout his career. Lined up on the wing tonight with Weens taking over that center spot. Strange. Puck knocked down. Here's Weens out front. He had Tarswell and he couldn't convert. Chance to break out for U of C. Through center goes Kirkpatrick. He hands it off and he never got the return. Strange. Comzak playing it to center for Tarswell and he couldn't get a twig on it. Weens playing up high as well. Here's Schmidt. Gavin Schmidt alongside Kirkpatrick as they move their way in, but they're undermanned and it allows MRU to flip the ice. Here's Patton, right-hand side, in around the goal, looking for some help. He's got it, Stevenson! Shot block in tight by Kirkpatrick, and that is gonna get a couple of taps as he makes his way to the bench.
Yeah, that was crucial block for sure. That was golden chance for the Cougars there right in front of the net. Who knows where it would have been placed, but you can't ask for a much better opportunity, but good block by Kirkpatrick there.
It's an important role. Not everybody can be the 30-point scorer or the 20-goal scorer in this league, but you can be a defensive shot blocker. Kirkpatrick taking that role seriously on our last play. Aquilon leaves it alone. He's deeper than he probably would like to be. Never got the puck back to Patton. Out of the air like a wide receiver, Aquilon will hold. Zandy pokes that one ahead. Hammett's able to take it out. Here's Logan Howard. Howard wanting the return. He's got it. Shimmies his way into Mount Royal ice. Howard a chance. Sharp angle. Rebounds cleared. And thankfully for Shane Farkas, he didn't have to fight off a chance in tight.
No, I think Howard was trying for that tight angle shot, but yeah, nothing's going by Mount Royal at this given moment.
A sip of water for Tedachuk, but maybe a sigh of relief on the other end for Shane Farkas. Don't have a replay on that one, but it could have turned into a lot more for U of C. That's what they got to continue to do. Stack plays, stack days, and you hope something eventually turns your way.
Yeah, I think take any chance they can get in any shot. As they are down one, certainly you still got 21 minutes of hockey, but why not score now?
Chance there from Kidd and a second try from Poole. Neither fooled Farkas. Walker lost it behind the goal, and this is where the Dinos can make their mark. Keeping teams hemmed in, especially a team like Mount Royal that has one less guy on their bench right now. Here's Zandy, a try, and a save in the butterfly by Tedachuk. And a little bit of that extra magic behind the goal. Fans love to see it. Milliken is in a group of 3 down low.
Yeah, I think lots of whistles this period and lots of extra shoving after the whistle too. I'm surprised penalties haven't been given out, to be fair.
Yeah, I haven't seen a penalty since the first period. That is so rare for a Crowchild Classic, where everything just is magnified a little bit larger.
Yeah, I believe it was only Wilson's dirty hit, but there's been other dirty hits that I think could have been called, but maybe referees are being a little lenient tonight.
Very different in the women's game. It felt like penalties were flying out left and right. Gibson, quick shoulder check and nearly slipping behind him was Bugera. Hannes. He's on the other side. He's got a red carpet ahead. Lee's curling to the forehand, rather the backhand, and he'll take it past the circle. Lee's room to shoot in the middle, and he plugged that one wide. Bouchard in his office behind the goal. He's met by two Dinos, and the puck's free to Jake Poole. Poole spearheads this one across the ice, and we're through two. Potentially one more to go. Mount Royal up by one as they get a huge second period marker courtesy of Clay Honus on the one-timer. Plenty more to come. We'll send it down to the panel. Naomi and Brendan when we return.
40 minutes in the books, and it is a 2-1 score for the Mount Royal Cougars over the Calgary Dinos. Naomi, that was a very, very solid period for Mount Royal, ultimately getting the go-ahead goal. And right now, control the lead.
It was a great second period for them. Clay Honus coming out there and getting that second goal, putting MRU in the lead 2-1. Dinos definitely battled back. They weren't on their heels at all during that period. It was fairly evenly matched, but Clay Honus getting that game-leading goal.
Yeah, ultimately taking a look at some of our highlights first, and we'll quickly chat through that one first. But the first big highlight came fairly early into the second period. The net ultimately falling down on Tedachuk in a little bit of a scary type moment, as we can see right here, just goes right over, and no good for that one. Always a scary look when something like that happens.
Yeah, you never want to see anything like that, especially Josh Tarswell getting pushed a little bit into the back of the net. So it was not totally a clean hit behind that to begin with, and that top bar just kind of grabbing him in the back of the head. But Tedachuk is doing all right. He did finish off the second period, and he's looking solid.
Yeah, we can see right here the attempted Michigan goal. What a cool looking shot that was. But then the goal from Clay Honus, just able to sneak this one by. Great movement of the puck, and just fires that one by Tedachuk to bring his team up by a score of 2-1.
Connor Bouchard, he's always unpredictable with that Michigan coming out. He really tried, but Tedachuk was pressed up against that. Clay Honus getting that goal of the season for him. But great pass by Stevenson as well, just to really add to that. Tedachuk looking stunned on that one as well.
Yeah, Honus again just with this excellent looking shot, seeing some of the great angles from this one, just sneaking that one by Tedachuk on that occasion. Taking a look here at our next highlight here. Dinos with a opportunity to try to tie things up with Farkas. Great positioning to ultimately get the last second toe on that one and just smack that one away with his stick.
Shane Farkas has been very strong all night tonight, especially not getting to play a ton this season due to injury. So stopping that shot to keep the Cougars up 2-1 is very important for him.
Yeah, and it keeps it and gives him a lot of confidence for the remaining part of this game, knowing that his team has the lead going into the third period. That definitely makes things a lot easier.
It always does going to that third period. Calgary Dinos are going to have to come out, have a little pep talk in the locker room, and really shake things up to the next level if they're looking to get anything past Shane Farkas.
Yeah, 40 minutes have been in the books, 20 more to go. We'll be back here shortly after our short intermission, and you're watching this game here on Canada West TV, brought to you by BioSteel.
Wait a minute, get it how you live it. 10 toes in when we standing on business. I'm a big step. Underground, I thought I was top-notch horse. Get the most, not the little. Straight terror.
I think of aerospace as a story of firsts. Wright brothers' first powered flight over the Atlantic Ocean, aircraft that had jet turbine technology that could break the sound barrier, developing rockets that put satellites into orbit, putting a person in space, and then finally culminating in 1969 with putting a person on the moon. People think maybe that 1969 was the peak of aerospace progression, but I think we are actually going into a second aerospace revolution.
We in Calgary, in Alberta, and in Western Canada pretty much has all of the ingredients to really push the next generation aerospace technologies. You have industry. The Havilland was in the news recently. Before that, we had the RTX here. We have a former Peraton here, Lockheed Martin, CDL, Atlantis Research Lab, UVAT, Canadian UAVs. The second component is the access to at least two biggest flight ranges, which is the GRDC Suffield. You have the Cold Lake, foremost U.S. flight test range, the Living Lab initiatives, where you can and test your, small-scale UAVs. The last component is the education. We have very skilled students and motivated students who like to work in the area. We have the experts in the field who has either past experience or the current project working with the leading aerospace industries, including DRDC, CSA, MDA, NASA, DLR, etc. With all of that combined, we actually in the capacity to be the hub for the next generation aerospace technologies.
Calgary has a great history of innovation, entrepreneurship. A lot of companies have developed. I think there's been a lot of advances that we've seen here in the city. It's an exciting time for aerospace here in Canada and in the world in general.
We have capacity and capability. Let's invest into that.
Rugby has been an incredible journey for me, and it's given me so much. Rugby is one of the fastest growing sports in Canada. That's really the extra motivation to do this research and make sure that we're preventing injuries and that girls have long, really enjoyable careers in this incredible sport. My name's Catherine Dean. I am from Enniskillen, County Fermanagh in Northern Ireland. I am a postdoctoral researcher here at the Sport Injury Prevention Research Centre, CIPRC. I'm also an international rugby player with 23 caps for Ireland. I'm a chartered physiotherapist and a level 4 coach. The Sport Injury Prevention Research Centre is one of 11 International Olympic Committee research centres and the only one in Canada, recognised globally for its high calibre of research in influencing practice and policy in numerous youth collision sports, both in Canada and all over the world. Tonight we're having a free tackle safety workshop at the Calgary Rugby Union. We have representatives from Rugby Canada to come down and help us deliver the tackle ready and contact confident resources, World Rugby's tackle safety resources. There will be players from minis to U18 and senior players. Tackling, it is a skill. It's a technique that requires technical proficiency. You have to be psychologically ready. You also need to be physically strong and robust, mitigating the forces that are coming against you. My qualitative research really involves giving athletes, coaches, healthcare professionals a voice in sports medicine research. We find from the implementation research that in practice sometimes we fail to look at the context in which people need that information or they want to receive that education. What we find was that on tackle safety in women's rugby, girls and women have a preference for learning how to tackle in a very graduated manner to understand the why. Why would I do it this way? Typically, the boys and men's players don't really ask why. World Rugby kindly funded us a couple of years ago under the supervision of Professor Carolyn Emery, co-investigators Dr. Isla Schill and Dr. Stephen West. The success of this research centre really speaks for itself. We have the capacity and we have the right people on the ground and the right manpower and expertise. Having those partnerships with the players, the coaches, healthcare professionals, youth advisory committees, we're just in a really fortunate position that we can definitely make a difference in the sport I love.
The relationship and collaboration between the university and the Calgary Stampede has been in place for a long time, actually. We've had classes down to the Calgary Stampede. We've had faculty members involved behind the scenes at the Stampede. I personally do a lot of research at this Calgary Stampede on the rodeo animals, and we have people doing research on chuck wagon animals as well. In the past, we've worked with the Stampede to address some of the issues that they're concerned about. It creates incredible opportunities, incredible new knowledge, so we can then inform policies around rodeo using scientific-based information.
Partnerships really have an advantage to be able to leverage each other's strong points. The university, with its credibility and validation in the science, the training of the next generation of veterinarians and land science managers, we need to be able to bring them out here onto the land. We need to be able to go on to Stampede Park and really showcase to the public good things that they're doing as well.
The booth at the Stampede makes a big difference in terms of the number of people that are able to come and find out about the university, find out about the vet school, and the types of programs that we offer.
There's 1 million people that come onto our park every single year. And these are people that as industry, we don't get a chance to necessarily talk to. And so when we have strong partnerships between the university and ourselves and we can show the agricultural technologies, there's the data collection, there's the science side, there's the animal health side, there's the environment side. Everybody is connected to agriculture, whether they can believe it or not, because everybody eats. The more partners that we can help showcase that to the public, the better.
It allows us to think about agriculture differently. We have a lot of people that are involved in engineering that are interested in animal agriculture. We have people in the business school. We have people in policy. So there's an awful lot of other types of industries and careers associated with it. And by being here talking about it, we may be able to spark interest in those other careers as well.
Simply put, it was a freak accident. They were in the corner and Cale was on the ground and inadvertently cut him with a skate. What seemed to be sort of an innocuous cut turned into a catalyst towards him developing this really severe cartilage injury. Once your cartilage starts to have an issue, it becomes a big medical concern. Gabe's known for being an outstanding leader, an outstanding teammate. He's got a lot of poise. Before the injury, he's a loved captain of the Colorado Avalanche, one of the youngest people to be named captain in the history of the NHL. My research, it's all around understanding how things like injury and aging affect our muscle strength and power. It's kind of like taking your car to the dealership and they hook up the computers to tell you like what part of your car is not working so good. The connection was made by a former UFC grad named Marcin Gazinski. He's an individual who has become the trusted manual therapist / advisor to some of the greatest athletes in the world. He'd reached out to me when he said, hey, I've got this player who suffered this injury and we're trying to make our way through it and what should we do? So Gabe came to the lab where I could kind of hook up the computers and be like, hey, what's happening? The blind spot has always been like, okay, so what happens after you leave the lab and now you're out in the real world doing your sport where we have far less visibility on how your mechanics look. I introduced this technology to Gabe in March. This wearable tech was just super, super valuable for being able to analyze his movement patterns as he skates. Gabe would put this in his shoe morning and night when he would go walk his dog or do whatever, to look at his load, to look at his biomechanics, to understand like what the game load was going to need to be when he went out there to play. I was able to help Marcin and that team navigate a plan towards how we were going to bridge the gap between where he was to where he needed to go and play an NHL hockey game. The whole journey for any scientist is to hopefully do something that's useful. I mean, what more could you ask? Knowing what Gabe went through, knowing how much was on the line, and then being able to be there for his first game, the arena just really was electric.
I have known Ed for more than 10 years. Our shared passion for sport and supporting young people has created a genuine friendship and a deep respect. His actions embody the true spirit of what the Lester B. Pearson Award is all about.
President McCauley joining that list is a testament to the importance that he has placed on the position of athletics within university life. The biggest one right away is the investment providing more opportunities for women in coaching and funding some PhD students who are doing some real groundbreaking research around injury management and prevention, as well as in mental health. But he's also our #1 fan. His position at football games is on the sidelines right next to the bench. He wants to be right there in the action. And that's not just in football, but in many other sports.
He takes part, and somebody who's taking part and showing a presence generates trust. It's exciting to see him out, whether we've been at the national championships or at our games in the Jack Simpson gym, wearing the colors. He writes letters. He's been coming to our Night of the Dino, speaking to our athletes personally, and really displaying being a Dino proudly. I think that really connects with our athletes. It's motivating for them. They feel important, and it empowers them to move ahead and become leaders themselves.
It doesn't matter how they're doing, he's there. He's cheering. He's encouraging. Yes, he's brilliant, academic excellence, but he understands sport builds adaptability, teamwork, and then the pride. And he champions those values across the university.
It is absolutely genuine. There's no question that he truly cares. If we had 57 presidents across the country like Ed McCauley, university sport in Canada would be in a much better place than it is.
I think it's important to say thank you. He's been wonderful for us in all aspects.
Computational biology is a little bit less shiny than other forms of research because you don't come out with this very pretty picture. Essentially, I'm looking at the protist parasite Giardia. Giardia is weird. It's got a lot of little quirks with how its biology works. Greatest hopes is that maybe we can actually figure something out and more conclusively come up with a theory as to how Giardia could be causing damage to hosts. Hi, I'm Emily Kingdon. I'm a recent graduate of Mount Royal University under the Biology Honours Program, and I've just started my Master's at the University of Alberta. So I chose biology largely because it was the most interesting to me in high school. There's so many opportunities to talk to people who know so much about so many different fields in biology. So you can walk into a room and learn something from somebody because everybody knows something different. Obviously I have the background in cellular and molecular lab techniques, but going to Switzerland, I think there's going to be a lot of opportunities to learn so many new things. Whatever I'm going to learn out there that they entitle molecular parasitology is just a complete field that I've never had the opportunity to explore. I think Mount Royal did really help with the transition from undergraduate to graduate studies, largely because I was part of the first cohort of the honors program in biology. It became a very small group of us. There were 7 of us. We really got to be quite good friends, and we spent so much time together in the lab outside of class time, and I don't think that ever would have been possible if I was in a classroom of 300 people.
Drink BioSteel, the right fuel.
40 minutes in the books with 20 more to go. MRU currently holds the lead. Let's take a look here at our interview with Adam Kidd before we get to our next period.
One right now, but some good looks coming from you guys. Just thoughts on that period.
Yeah, it wasn't a bad period. Yeah, we had some looks. Just kind of got to get in front of the goalie's eyes a bit and get numbers at the net. But yeah, it's just it's a tight game out there. There's no room for mistakes. You can see the transitions really quick. So got to make smart plays with the puck and stay on them, and create some offense here in the third.
Obviously, in an environment like this, it's getting pretty chippy out there, getting really physical. Just how are you guys managing that part of the game?
Yeah, I mean, it just kind of elevates everyone's game for sure. It gets everyone into it. I mean, we just got to keep playing smart, not get too invested in the stuff after the whistle, and just stick to our game and trust that some looks will come here.
Good luck in the final frame.
Thanks.
Brendan Donald, Naomi Campbell here in the broadcast area. Naomi, it has been a really, really close back and forth game here. Obviously, Mount Royal does currently have the lead. What do you think Mount Royal needs to do to ultimately come away with this one?
Mount Royal needs to come out and play just as aggressive and as strong as they have been the first 2 periods. Any cracks in their gameplay will allow U of C to open the floodgates and score anything through them. So they have to hold their strongest players in front of the net, and Farkas has got to stand in between those pipes and really just focus in on everything going on.
Yeah, the Dinos just really need to find a way to get a few more shots and really just try to test Farkas. That's going to be a tough opportunity nonetheless, but just trying to get a few more shots in front of the net, really trying to test it, try to get him to go side to side in his crease to really just try to open things up, kind of like what happened on their first goal. Really, really competitive game between these 2 teams. It has been a fun one here.
It has been a fun game. Both teams coming out and playing in a really great environment. MRU coming off of the loss last year, so they're coming into this looking for that win. U of C looking to do 2 for 2, but you never know with these. They're high-scoring chance games, and it's always a matchup.
Not only are these teams playing here tonight, they will also be facing off against each other on Saturday night, where they go to Flames Community Center to face off yet again for their final time this season. But let's send it up to our broadcast booth for period number 3.
Really cute. Can I take you out on it? We're back. Period 3, Crowchild Classic. 1-goal game. Mount Royal up 2-1. Grace, this is what we asked for. This is the best of the best.
It really is, yeah, and Cougars do have that 1-goal advantage, but Dinos are gonna look to bounce back and tie this one up as quick as they can.
Puck is moved into Mount Royal territory. For the Dinos, just the one power play marker in this game. It's been tough sledding offensively outside of that power play.
Yeah, they haven't had too much going for them. If anything, they need that again to hopefully go on the power play, but if you're a Cougar, you're happy as you've been performing in all aspects.
Have to be even happier seeing that Spencer Moe is back on the ice, an integral piece to this puzzle for MRU. And his injury, obviously he's gotten some ointment on it and he's ready to play the third.
Yeah, definitely. He's a crucial one out there. I believe he's assistant captain. That's hard to lose that. You know, he has that leadership role and that chemistry on that first line, so good to have him back.
Face-off will come to center ice. Sean Kirkpatrick out there. And this crowd, still pretty consistent. We've lost a few bodies in the stands, but overall it's been an energized night for both the Cougar faithful and Dino faithful alike. Puck is on the near boards now. Weens. Hannes will bang it around the side of the net. Here's Brennan Lee. Turns out of trouble. Stick handles to his backhand, then feeds it down low. Wilson up high, slinging shot, and it's knocked down out front. Some early pressure here for the Dinos, but the Cougars out of the jam. Bouchard takes a shot from Hammett, and now he avoids a check as he slips into the corner. Lees near the Dinos bench. Quick over. And now it's played ahead to Tarswell. Josh Tarswell. Missed a couple of games this year with an injury, but seems like he's close to full strength. One off the back of Wyatt Wilson's skate. Ladyman connects with Comzak. That out of the reach of all members on Mount Royal, and we will send it to the other side of the rink.
Fans, we have a very
fast start once again. We were definitely predicting that. So you wonder though, Dinos, they start fast, get in that momentum, but then the Cougars start to take over a little bit. So Dinos really need to, I'd say, lock in this third period. I think if Cougars get another one on the board, it might put Dinos in a tricky situation.
It will be a tough evening for the Dinos. They know they've got this streak coming into this game and looking to extend it. They've always had kind of a chokehold on Mount Royal, not only being the first team in Canada West, but dominating the matchup. Stick flying to the middle. Here's Patton, stick in his lap, and he couldn't tuck it. And Patton is fired up, a slam of his stick against the boards, and I don't blame him on that play.
No, definitely, but if you're a Dino, you're thankful for that stick going flying, because that ultimately interrupted and blocked his vision from the puck a bit there. So Dinos got a lucky break on that one once again. I feel like we've said that a few times, one too many to be fair.
And I'm not sure there's a penalty that you can call for that play. The stick just flew up in the middle of nowhere. The frustration, understandable. Draws one by Spencer Moe. Puck caroms towards Connor Bouchard. Bouchard was looking for Vaughn Waterroot, but he was trapped by Connor Horning. Bouchard knocked that puck down, and maybe something for the Cougars. Here's Bouchard behind the goal, cuts to the middle, dragging it across, and a save by Tedachuk. Waterroot reconvenes with Aquilon. Bouchard again, looking for a lane. Walker, one-timer from the point, and Moe deflected it wide. A second shot hit the side of the cage. Waterroot cutting his way up through the ice as he glides to the right-hand side. Near the hash marks to Walker. Aquilon on his left. He'll go back to Waterroot. Waterroot, a snipe and a save there from Tedachuk. Aquilon will let this glide out to center, and Kyle Walker will step back into his own zone. A little bit of pressure for Mount Royal after the Dinos pushed just moments earlier. Tedachuk. Puck jumped on near the hash marks, and looking to spring things up top was Schmidt. Gavin Schmidt. Near the goal line. press that to the point. Off to Kirkpatrick. His backhand pass never found Wilson. Lee chases this one down. Getting away is Ty Gibson. Milliken. This one will be icing for sure, and no whistle yet. Hammett close enough, they'll blow it dead. 4 minutes have elapsed here in this third period, and the shot's getting closer, Grace. Now 28-21 in favor of Mount Royal. Still work to do for Calgary.
For sure, yeah, there's definitely positives to take away. I wouldn't say Calgary's ever been playing bad. It's just Mount Royal seems to be a gear above them currently, but Dinos are starting to even this one out, and starting by looking at the shot clock, but have to put a goal on the board.
Blocker saved from Farkas off the draw. Isaac was calling for a high stick. He's out there with Martins, Hannes, and Milliken. Lee to the point, kicked aside by Alex Isaac, but the Dinos are right back in. Puck dumped around the boards by Kovacevic. Davis Fry's in the middle of everything down low. Kovacevic was watching. Tedachuk, bank pass to Hammett. Logan Hammett. Some strong defenders for the Dinos on the backside. Not many that can push the offense like maybe a Sean Strange. They're going to have to in this third if they want any chance at it. Tarswell. Bump play off the near boards. It was intended for Jaden Weens, who's now right after Fouquet. Tarswell. Over to his right-hand side, got a head full of speed, and he's twirled behind the goal by Strange. Stevenson over to Tarswell. Extra pass to Weens went through his wickets. And it's Max Stewart who ushers the puck to center. Quickly back in are the Cougars. Stevenson met along the boards by Fouquet. Strange gives it the extra mustard into the center ice area. Fouquet into his own zone. A turnover there. Is feeling the heat put on by Zandy, who's had a solid game. Here's Lee's look off and a blocker saved by Tedachuk. Lees lets this one roll by over towards Walker, and it will be pitched the length of the ice. Chance for Aquilon to reestablish himself here. Gives the puck over to Patton. Patton always has a need for speed. We've seen flickers of that in this game. Horning. Past Aquilon. Farkas shares it with Walker. A near turnover by Aquilon, something we saw the Dinos have trouble with a moment ago. Now the puck turned over, and maybe a break here for Lees. Justin Lees, save made by Tedachuk. Oh, a key save for the Dinos keeper.
Yeah, that one was a huge one. It's always tough for goaltenders on a breakaway, but Tedachuk did very well there.
You feel like it's almost game, set, match if Lees can convert on that break. Hammett. Does this bring a little more life into not only the Dinos crowd, but their play on the ice?
Exactly. One big save makes for lots of noise, but you can tell Dinos want to get back in this one.
Hannes plays it to a free spot. Mo met down low. Here's Bouchard, great with his edges as he deflects away from pressure, and then he gets hammered down, but right back to his feet, and once again he's near the puck. Mo. Pass was intended for Ty Gibson. Hannes almost had a piggyback down low as jumping onto his back looked to be Corbet. Gibson. Pass up high to Bouchard, easy dump. New Cougars bodies will flood the ice. Wateroo, late in his shift, hands to Milliken. Dawson Milliken. That puck stripped down low by Horning, but not out for the Dinos. They still got work to do. Milliken. Stewart in there with an elbow, and oh, it's finally played out towards Gavin Schmidt. Back in his own end is Tanner Komzak. On the stick of Michael Ladyman. Nearing the midway point of this third period, Mount Royal still in command. Isaac. Stewart couldn't clear, and Nearly a one-on-one chance down low for Milliken. Isaac and Hammett got tied up. Isaac to Milliken, and he's knocked down. So is Tedachuk. Isaac to the point. Ladyman threw a screen, and that one hit an elbow and went wide. Ladyman, far side. Komzak a snipe and a save, but it's not secured. Low goes Stevenson. Weens is right in the middle of the action. Ladyman got caught behind the play, and up ahead go the Dinos. It's Logan Howard. Ladyman. Dinos back to their own zone now. Not a lot going up ahead for the Dinos, but MRU has had their looks. Feels like if one does open up for the Dinos, they got to punch it home.
Definitely, with only 11 minutes remaining, you got to start popping those ones in soon.
Kawa. Here's Poole. Kakala down low, Poole back to it, out front, Wilson's there! Farkas with the save of the night! Oh, the Cougars' veteran keeper and former goalie of the year with a spectacular save. Here's Lees. Puck got stuck on some snow down below, and it stifled the rush. So a little bit of luck on both sides. The Dinos didn't give up a 3-on-2, and Farkas didn't give up a goal.
Yeah, it was probably one of the best plays of this game so far, going back and forth.
Still lots of time remaining, though. Schmidt right on the back of Clay Honus. Bouchard flicks that one high. He's wanting to set up Mo, and that was quarterback to wide receiver, but instead the ball ends up out of bounds, or rather the puck in this scenario.
Yeah, the Cougars, if we take a look at the shot clock, they're now at 34-23, but I don't know about you, but to me it doesn't seem like that. Like, I feel like Dinos have created lots here and are coming back. I know they had that opportunity with 3 or 4 shots on Tedachuk there, but other than that, Dinos have been generating a little bit more than the Cougars, in my opinion.
Well, and that Wilson play speaks for itself. You can't allow a guy to be that open out front, and fortunately for Farkas, he didn't allow any more. But if that's a team that we start to see, the Dinos are going to build off of it. They're just that good of a team, and they've proven that all season long, and even in seasons past with some of the players that they still have to this day.
Exactly, yeah. And who knows, maybe they're strategizing and want to spark the crowd and score a last-minute one. I mean, probably fine by the crowd, as we said, they probably want an overtime, but definitely to tie this one up, everyone will be happy.
There's still certainly many bodies left in the seats, but it is a Thursday. So if you commit to going the distance with this game, whether it's overtime or it is just 3 periods, you're committing to a long day tomorrow. Much less maybe some other things factoring into tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm afraid most people will be skipping past, so I won't be too happy. Who knows? Those ones who are really good students will make time for both.
Or they just didn't book any Friday classes in general with their schedule. I'd be lying if I said I didn't go to that many times throughout my academic career.
Yeah, I found Fridays were always the ones where you didn't have much to and could miss.
Here's Horning. That one skims off the shoulder. Down is Farkas. The puck is behind his net. Sean Kirkpatrick. Over to Gavin Schmidt, 25 on 25 in the corner. Aquilon there with the pressure. Waterroot unable to clear. Schmidt near the goal line. Oh, a needle of a pass. Horning looked to turn it. Here's Strange, and he stung that one, and I believe it almost ended up into the crowd, certainly into the netting.
Yeah, that was a powerful shot. If only it was on net. Jeez, who knows, that one could have went in with the power we saw on that. But unfortunately, that one did go wide above a face-off.
But if you're in section 224, 225, 227, or 228, and you're extra loud, I got free tickets for you right now!
Yeah, not only with the shots we've seen, but some of the hits. Definitely the guys are hitting the gym, but at this level, you need to be strong.
Farkas was stretched out. Hauer in his crease off the draw. It's something we're continuing to see from the Dinos. They're starting to jump to it. There's a beat to their game now. Hammett overskated. Tarswell flips it to his forehand. He was looking in the corner for Blake Stevenson, the two longtime teammates. Weeds looking to meet up with Max Stewart. Davis Fry will play it ahead. Farkas. Logan Howard skirts that one around the boards. A deep pinch from Sean Strange, but his forward group was in the middle of a change. Settling Dino's ice. No pressure there from the Cougars, and now they'll get in a position to apply more of set pressure. They get a draw right near Carl Tedachuk's backyard.
Again, you know the Cougars are hungry for more. If they can make this one 3-1, they absolutely will. They've been very close, but though Tedachuk has let in 2 goals, he has made 32 saves, which is quite impressive.
Well, and after period 1, he'd faced 15 shots already, so his plate has certainly been full. Tristan Zandy. Gotta say, mentioned his name a few times tonight. A really impressive night for Zandy. That throughout the season, consistency has been a question, whether that's him being in the lineup or what his play suggests. But this is the full package of Tristan Zandy that the Cougars have been waiting on. The other way goes Poole. That first line out again for the Dinos. Jake Poole with a goal in this game, but it feels like there's still more to be given for this group.
For sure, and I think with time it will come, and hopefully that opportunity is right now.
Kidd looking to make that happen as he flicks the switch, plays it in. Backhand by Pakala. One-handed effort, Horning, and maybe something to set up here for the Cougars. Walking in, a shot and a save by Tedachuk. On the far angle, it was Zandy again.
Yeah, you didn't know there if he was gonna shoot or hit his teammate with the pass, but he ended up taking the shot, tried to look for that tight angle, but Tedachuk had that one covered.
Coming into today's game, Tristan Zandy anything but nervous. He was singing in the hallway. That's not something you usually hear from the men's hockey team, but you know, he was letting it loose, a little karaoke in the hallway.
You know, whatever is gonna make them play well, do what you want, but I saw lots of soccer going on, the juggling.
Hacky Sack, another favorite of many hockey players. Milliken thought about working the cycle. Instead, he goes to the point for Comzak. Lady man! And that tip is wide. Martins, lots of time, lots of space, but he's closed in on now. Kirkpatrick up to Schmidt. Schmidt plays it to an open area for Horning. Tense Dinos bench down there as Horning goes off for a change. And as we mentioned, not only would you lose the Crowchild Classic if things remain the same, but you lose position in the standings.
Exactly, yeah, it's a lot of stuff on the line, but definitely whichever team takes away the win, it's crucial both for the school and for the standings.
And for Tedachuk and Farkas, a little bit personal as well, because it is their final time, maybe even starting at the Saddledome, but certainly starting at the Saddledome in a Crowchild Classic as veterans who are about to embark on new journeys. And you want to have that good taste in your mouth leaving the Saddledome tonight.
Yeah, for sure, and you wonder if they're also thinking like that as they have more games under their belt as there's playoffs and such, but definitely that's probably in the back of their head.
Waterroot got the first goal in our game, looking for more off to Bouchard. Mo is down low. Wyatt Wilson in the thick of the scrum. Gibson had that rattle off his toe. Now a tip try from Mo is blocked. Strange. Puck's gifted off to Stewart. Max Stewart, one hand on his stick as he's in. Bouchard tried the Michigan earlier in this game, unsuccessful. Strong awareness by Tedachuk to stop it. Here's Hannes. A blast goes high and will rim around the boards. Hannes with the second goal in this game, and if we were to end it here, it would be the game winner. Hammett lets this go for icing. This is where the Dinos want to be, not score-wise, but positionally on the ice. You know immediately Mark Howell going with that first line again.
yeah, I feel like we brought up a few times, but crucial face-off win here for the Dinos. Only 6:12 remaining. Definitely if they want to win this game and not have it go to overtime, they got to start popping them in now, but they want to tie it up. They got 6 minutes to do so.
Setting up to take the draw is Pakala. Pakala wins it clean. Up to the point for Connor Horning. This group is going to get a lot of run here in the next 6 minutes. Bench is shortening up, at least on the Dinos side of things, wanting to have your best offensive players in the rotation more often than not. Walker. Pass was fumbled on the far side. Here's Weens. Takes the extra second. Gives off to Clay Honus, who's got some jump now. Honus a shot, and it crisscrossed Carl Tedachuk in goal. Weens fanned on another try. Here's Jake Poole. Poole, pass attempt was blocked. Kidd will head for a change. Walker talked about the Cougars maybe bleeding the clock at the end of one. Certainly looking to do so now. Aquilana, high flyer in. Wilson tried to pick it up as if it was a ground ball. Ladyman. Over to Lees. Looking for it up high to Zandy. And a high stick is going to be called here. I'm not sure who got a touch on it. I believe it's Wyatt Wilson of the Dinos as he had a word with the official.
All right, friends, we're going to turn this thing into a road party for just a hot second. How do we feel about a sing-along?
Regardless,
my man Ryder's here in the heart of Dino Country. What are we going to sing?
It's been pretty unique as well.
Country Roads, John Denver, cue it up, let's go!
I guess characterize your pro childhood classic experiences here.
Yeah, I'd say I've been to, I think, 6 over my years, and I've had the privilege to broadcast for 2 of them, but it's definitely an event you want to try to get out to, as not only the atmosphere, but everyone's in for the same concept, to have fun and ultimately see your school win, so that's always fun. But definitely as the broadcasting experience, it's amazing to even be offered it. I feel like we're very fortunate to even be up here. There's probably thousands of others that are listening to us and wish they're in our shoes. So definitely got to be appreciative of that. It's always a privilege working with you. So hopefully we can, third time's a charm next year. We'll have to see.
I'm hoping so.
Yeah.
Keep plugging that thought into the years out there. But we certainly appreciate you joining us, because none of this happens without you, the fans in the stands, fans at home, and maybe those who are discovering a new love through something like the Pro Child Classic.
Yeah, and I'm sure plenty are watching at home, actually. They're broadcasting it. Anyone's allowed to watch it tonight if you have a Can West account, so you don't even have to pay for it. So I know a few friends back at home that are watching it, which is always nice to see.
Campus Bar showing it at MRU tonight, as I've heard. I know Cowboys, which will be packed just across the street in just a few when this game's over. They are always showing the game. And, as I was walking through the concourse tonight, I walked past a kid. He might have been only 3 years old wearing a Leafs jersey. I mean, that's really, in many ways, what not only a game like this can be about, but what hockey can be about. You know, it's the indoctrination into something that brings people together. And boy, as we look out in front of us here, what a sight to behold. Regardless of what you're wearing jersey-wise, everybody together to celebrate Calgary and hockey.
For sure, even some kids are probably looking up to these hockey players and one day want to be in their shoes, as it's not easy to be a university athlete, and to get recruited, there's millions of people that probably want to play on Cougars and the Dinos, so definitely to see that and witness it at a young age is a memory that will probably last forever for them, or at least for a very long time till something else replaces it.
When you're young, you may not refer to it as this, but it's certainly a privilege as you get older and you see what this can become. Bucks one up top to Remy Aquilon. Talk about careers starting. Mentioned his career is about to come to a close. Walker, him the same as he plays it over towards Wyatt Wilson. Lees twirls around on his backhand, over to the captain, Kyle Walker. Bank passes Andy, try out front for Lees, he put it wide, and then he never had a chance to pull the trigger again. Puck's over. Teague Patton, that one almost reached the Jumbotron up high. Here's Kirkpatrick. Fended off by Kyle Walker. Aquilon, under 5 to play here in the third period. The Cougars clinging to a 1-goal lead. Kirkpatrick, a backhand. Bouchard, he's got clear space ahead. Does he have the edge? Bouchard cutting to the middle, to his forehand, and a pad save made by Tedachuk. Carl Tedachuk read it like a book. And Bouchard with a unique move to get into some open space. Here's Waterroot. Oh, a shifty move from him. Komzak tees it up. And an easy save there off a bobbler for Tedachuk. Komzak. Motions high there for the Dinos as it felt like the game was really on the line in those last few moments. Ladyman. Mo will shovel this one forward. Pressure down low from Waterroot, and a sharp angle shot is blasted wide. A wide open goal for the moment. Here's Mo up top. Honus in and out of the glove. That has been a strength of the Dinos tonight, clearing rebounds in the crease. Another show of that there for the red and yellow. Gibson, a long push. This one too much strength on it, and it will go for icing. So we're not at the point yet, but Mark Howell, he's going to start to think about pulling Carl Tedachuk. Of course, in an ideal world for the Dinos, they get one before they get to that decision, but right now, the goal is to keep the puck jammed in, and they're going to call a timeout here, so one decision being made by Mark Howell. Both teams will take a little bit of a rest.
Yeah, my assumption would be around the 2-minute mark. I'd probably pull Tedachuk, get some puck movement going, get the Cougars defense moving, but you never know what Howell has in mind. But yeah, Dinos only got 254, and definitely they don't want to disappoint themselves or the fans, because that would be 3 losses in a row if it ended like that. And if you're a Dino and you're going for first place, that's not what they want.
Certainly not. And losing to teams that you're in the same conversation with. MRU, they went to UBC and they beat them handily, and to a bit of a surprise to most, were ranked 1 in the country, and people were left scratching their heads because the Dinos had a better record. And then the Dinos got a taste of the T-Birds, and it wasn't how MRU had handled them. And so then they ended up slipping. And, you know, it would be interesting to see if the Dinos win somehow in this game and win the next, what the standings makers, or rankings makers rather, are going to put together, because every team has beaten each other then.
Yeah, I had this conversation with Max, the other broadcaster I'm typically with, and we're like, we just don't understand. Dinos have a better record, but ultimately, if you are beating the Thunderbirds, that's going to put you in U Sports rankings. As I don't know, there's something about Thunderbirds, and if you beat them, you're somehow recognized very well. So
I know I bleed the Cougar blue, at least they helped me graduate, but
if you
I gotta say, I sided with you a couple weeks ago. I think it was baffling to a lot of U Sports fans across the country that probably was not on the spot, at least to me it certainly was.
yeah, no, definitely. I think we had a few conversations, and I had to take a second look. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me, but it wasn't. But in a way, it does make sense. You're beating the Thunderbirds on the road too, which makes a big difference. So standings are standings, though. It's the game that matters.
Exactly, and we have a great one on our hands right now. It could be in the dying moments. The Dinos trying to put together one that we'll see on Crowchild Classic highlight videos and replays for years to come. And Mount Royal trying to finally put another log in the dam and stop the flood.
Yeah, they've been trying to definitely get this lead more up there, but Tedachuk's been on his game, but Dinos want to get it out of their end to get an extra man on the ice if they can, so they need to win this face-off.
Face-off won by Tristan Zandy. He's out there with Waterroot and Tarswell, so a blender line here for Bert Gilling. Waterroot, bank to Walker. Over to Aquilon, down around the corner. Tarswell catches that off the lower boards. Zandy into the fight as well. Dumping it in is Tarswell, he'll grab a change. The only player still out there is Walker, who directs traffic. Horning up through the middle stripe. Adam Kidd with it, turning it over to Kyle Walker. Walker, this could be a long shift for him here if the Dinos are able to hem the Cougars in. There's Hannes, scrambles away in a one-hand poke pass to Mo. Mo, Bouchard looking to go back, and Tedachuk wise to put his stick in the way. Kidd, that one slip off his skate. Poole had trouble corralling it. Jake Poole. Pass was out of the reach of Kirkpatrick. Things not unfolding the way the Dinos had planned. Back in goes Zandy. Tristan Zandy, little bit of room and a shot up high. Rebounds there, and it's on the back of the net. Tarswell. Honest. Shot blocked. Waterroot in the slot area. Gets to the far side.
1 minute remaining, the third period.
Off the top of his stick, he's able to keep it in, and we are under a minute to go here at the Crowchild Classic. Tedachuk still in between the pipes. Waterroot spinning, turning, and firing a shot that Tedachuk got a piece of. The time is now, if you're the Dinos, you got to get Tedachuk out of the goal. Schmidt dumps it in, icing is the call, 33 ticks to go. MRU heads back down the ice, and they're feeling it.
Yeah, if you're MRU, you're in the perfect situation in Dino zone and to win a face-off and kill some time, but you're the Dinos, this is the most crucial face-off win of the game, and you gotta get that puck down the ice as quick as you can when you get a shot on.
Spencer Moe, the centerman out for Mount Royal. Bouchard, Stevenson flanking on his wings. Aquilon and Walker on the back end, and it's Sean Strange who gets to the puck first. Brendan Lee with an ill-advised shot down the ice for icing, and that burns off 8 seconds, and not really sure what the thinking was.
Yeah, I was trying to see what Tedachuk would do, but it looks like even at the 30-second mark, they weren't even gonna take him out, so they're relying on the players on the ice to do the job.
MRU alumni, we've seen them scattered along those booths down below, Dinos alumni alike. I'm sure those in blue looking to head home happy. Offside as Lee caught it behind the play, and an odd deflection that just ended up in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Yeah, definitely not the ideal situation for the Dinos, but that being said, you're right outside of the Cougars' blue line. You can easily make something happen with 17.1 seconds if you take all the actions in the right steps. And it does look like they did hold Tedachuk.
This has to be the move here. Wilson all the way over by the Sportsnet logo on the near side. Wilson's gonna dump it in. Here's Kidd. Knocked over out front. Farkas didn't even flinch. Stewart a try, and he zipped it wide. And the final couple of seconds will roll off the clock. Mount Royal have returned into the winner's circle here at the Crowchild Classic, and they snap the Dinos streak here at the Flames home rink.
And it looks like lots of fighting going on after the final whistle there.
And this is gonna boil over here. Hammett is down there, Kidd. And you never like to see this after a game, but these two, there is bad blood. Going at it, you can see Aquilon's lost his helmet, and the officials gotta watch themselves in tight. That's a scary area to be in. But regardless of who wins the fight along the boards, the ultimate fight won by Mount Royal. And for them, I'm sure they feel it's about time that they finally got this result.
Yeah, as you mentioned, it's usually gone in favor of the Dinos, but you got to give it to both teams. They both put out a great effort, but this time it did go the Cougars' way. On the bright side, Woodmans did take it for the Dinos, and Cougars took it for the men. So we each take a piece. Everyone's got to be a little happy.
The Cougars hyping up their fans who stayed around all game long. And I guess, speaking back to years ago, they've been waiting a while for this, in a moment that I'm sure they will enjoy for quite some time. Well, Grace, It's been a pleasure not only to witness the play on the ice, the atmosphere in the building, but once again to call this great event alongside you. And I'm sure we will be back for more in the future. So for Grace Moore, myself, Truman Bartman, we say so long, take care, and we hope you enjoy the rest of the U Sports season, and we hope you enjoyed tonight's Crowchild Classic.
Your third star from the UFC Dinos, number 35, Carl Tetra. Your second star from the MRU Cougars, number 31, Shane Farkas. First star from the Cougars, number 21, Clay Honey. Now down to Xander Bilbrey, standing by for today's first star.
Off of losing last year, just talk about how much it means to you guys.
Yeah, the boys played well. We appreciate the support from MRU fans, and yeah, looking forward to Saturday night.
It's pretty tight in the East right now, so a critical 2 points. How important was this win to the standings right now?
Yeah, we knew we had to get that one done. That was important. Now we're just gonna reset the focus for Saturday.
You talk about the fans. It was a record-setting night at the Crowchild Classic. Just one more message to the fans.
Yeah, thank you guys. We really appreciate it, and have yourself a good night.
Congrats on a big win.
Thank you.
Please know that all of us here at the Scotiabank Saddledome are Mothers Against Drunk Driving.
Well, what a game we have here today. Again, Mount Royal ultimately surviving against the Dinos late in that third period. Just an excellent battle back and forth, but ultimately, Dinos just couldn't come back in that one.
The Dinos could not grab a tying goal in that one, so it will go to MRU, which is big for them. That's 2 big points to add to the roster, which will put them up first position actually in the league. They're not tied anymore. So we'll go into Saturday night seeing who's going to come out on top for that one as well.
Yeah, that's going to be a very, very important game Saturday night at Flames Community Center when these two teams face off for the final time this season. And what a last few weeks it's going to be for both these two teams, because now both, again, Mount Royal does still have 2 games ahead of the Dinos. Ultimately, if they can get the win on Saturday, that puts them in a much better spot to get the first seed.
They do have a much better spot in that position, but going into playoffs, anything can happen. The Dinos have started their season, continued their season on a long run where the MRU Cougars have come back from being below 500 all season. So it's anybody's game at this point.
Well, what a day of hockey here at the Crowchild Classic for this back-to-back. Dinos got the first win of the day, and then Mount Royal ultimately evening it up here in the men's game. For Naomi Campbell, I'm Brendan Donlan, all our excellent producers and broadcasters saying thank you all very much for watching. You're watching Canada West TV, brought to you by BioSteel.